All right, Encina, tell us where you're from.
So I was born in California
Okay.
and lived there until I was around 5 years old. And my family moved to Arizona, and I've been there ever since.
And you have a unique diagnosis of having dissociative identity disorder. A lot of people know that as multiple personality disorder. When were you diagnosed with it?
I was diagnosed, I think I was about, it was like 22 or 23.
Okay. And what led to the actual diagnosis?
I started having a lot of amnesia feelings, which a lot of people are, they could think of as a normal thing. You forget what you have for breakfast the day before. And it just became so big that things were happening. It's really hard to explain until you're actually kind of going through it. That I was seeing therapists regularly, and it was just a diagnosis that ended up happening.
So you're having these events in your life where you Monday morning wake up and you can't remember what you did over the weekend. And Wednesday at night you're going to bed and you're thinking, what did I do this morning? What did I have to eat? And you don't think too much of it because people forget stuff. But then after 22, 23 years of this, you're seeing a therapist, and finally the therapist says, look, you have dissociative identity disorder.
Yes, but I've been seeing therapists even before then. But it ended up coming out that, yeah, that's what it was.
And when you're Encina talking to me right now.
Yes.
But you have 11 other alters that you can go into. Can you tell me about each one of those?
So I can tell you about, basically I have 5 primary alters, which are the ones that I, if I'm gonna switch, I switch into them very regularly. And I have one that I usually, in the past, I would switch into almost every single day.
Every day?
Every single day.
And how long did you switch into that person?
So she would come out for hours at a time, and sometimes for days at a time.
But did this go on for months, years, days?
This was like years, absolutely, yeah.
So let's talk about her.
Okay, so it's gonna sound kind of weird. So basically, let me start from the beginning a little bit. So people with DID, they get it by having traumatic, reoccurring childhood experiences that were just unavoidable, and it's repetitive usually. So it's a lot of just different kinds of harming things that are happening to these people that are just super traumatic.
And you're saying, from your understanding, it's not just something that occurs once, but something that's occurring more regularly.
Yeah, it's absolutely more repetitive. It's stuff that's absolutely reoccurring. And people with DID, they get it around the ages of newborn to around 6 to 7 years old. So you can't get DID after that time. So to kind of describe it, everybody starts out with multiple personalities, if you can kind of imagine that. And then as you get older, your personalities come into one person. If you've experienced trauma, reoccurring trauma as a child, usually before that age, those ages, your personalities stay split. And as a child, these traumatic experiences are going to create these different personalities and these different alters, if you will. And basically, they're what you're taking from around you. So some people will have alters that are like animals. Some people will have alters that are completely like non-living things, like rocks, which sounds very odd, but it's what you know as a child, what can protect you. And those alters become your protectors. So it's not a bad thing that they're there.
Do you want to talk about what happened in your childhood that caused you to develop DID?
So, I don't remember the majority of my life up until like around 6 years old. I have like very small little clips, I guess, but like only a couple of them. But I know that it was a sexual abuse thing, and it did happen with my father, along with like some of his friends.
And you know this happened, but for the most part, you can't remember it.
So it wasn't up until I started seeing my therapist and I started like becoming more aware of my alters and knowing who they were. So when I first started understanding that I had DID, obviously your first thought and first want to do is to fight against it. I don't want this. I don't want multiple personalities. You know, it's not a good thing. Like, you want to get rid of them. You can't get rid of DID. You can never even get rid of an alter. They're always going to be there.
So these things happened to you when you were a kid, and then through your teens and early 20s, you were experiencing symptoms of DID, but it was undiagnosed. And then you went to therapy, got diagnosed with DID, and you total have 11 alters, 5 of which are primary, but 1 used to come out every day. Let's start with her.
Okay. So she is, her name is Minnie, and she's a 3-year-old girl.
And that's one of your alters.
She's one of my alters. And
now, is she you when you were 3?
No. So she was like the first one. The next one that ended up coming out was Devin, and Devin is Minnie's caretaker, if you will. So if there's something that is happening that a 3-year-old shouldn't be seeing, she'll take over instead.
Devin will take over. So Devin's a girl.
Yeah.
So Devin will come out. It's kind of like Minnie has DID, I feel like, and she has to become Devin in order to...
Kind of. So like if a traumatic experience is happening, like the first thing in alters, like the first thing that they want to do is they want to help. So what they do is they take over. So that's what they would do when I was a child. You know, if a traumatic experience was happening to me as a child, they would take over. They would basically drive the body, if you will, kind of like a car.
Are you aware that you've been taken over?
So usually I wasn't, because I wasn't aware of all of that. But as, you know, I went through life and I started experiencing, okay, I get dizzy, or I get kind of like tired and things like that, I started recognizing that, okay, I'm getting ready to switch. And as I started to work with them instead of against them, it became a lot easier. And it became like okay, I'm going to switch. They're just going to take over. It's not a big deal. Okay, fine. We started to communicate with each other through a diary, and which was the only way that I could communicate with some of them. I've never even met all of them myself. I am co-conscious with 5 of them, meaning if they're out, I can see what they're seeing if they decide. So they can decide to kind of block me out. If I'm not co-conscious and I'm completely like in an amnesia state, then, you know, it's usually one of the other alters or something else is happening.
One of the 6.
Yeah.
When is the last time Minnie came out?
She actually doesn't come out as often anymore. I was in some pretty abusive relationships, and she would come out all the time because of that. But she hasn't been out for about a month now.
Oh, a month? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about the last time she was out. What was the context?
It was just kind of playing around and just hanging out at the house, and she comes out and she wanted to color, so she colored. She's got her own like coloring books and stuff.
And how long was she out?
Maybe an hour.
And were you co-conscious?
Yeah.
And tell me about Encina's experience being co-conscious with Minnie.
So let me put it like this. When when Minnie decides to come out, she does this thing where so she doesn't front fully, meaning she's not taking over the body fully. She'll kind of like peek through my eyes to see who's around and see if it's safe for her to even be herself. And if it is, she'll take over the body. She fronts and she will be herself doing what she does. And if she feels kind of nervous, it's her way of holding my hand if I'm co-conscious, if I can see. Meaning if she gets a little too nervous, then I'll just take over again. If she's completely like, oh, I've got this, like I'm not nervous with this person, it's okay, sometimes she'll just block me out. And meaning like I'm kind of like in an amnesia state.
Is that scary?
It used to be. It used to be really scary because when I go through things like anxiety, when it's like a really scary anxiety or something where I feel like very unsafe, basically, I go through a lot of amnesia stuff. And I've had times where, you know, I would be watching TV or something and then I'd wake up or come to and I was like in the middle of the street somewhere else. Wow. And I was like, where am I? Wow. That doesn't happen now, but it did in the past.
Why do you think it doesn't happen as much anymore?
I think it's just because me, along with my alters, we know that we're not in a dangerous situation anymore. We're not.
So as your life improved, your DID has improved.
Yeah.
Is that common with people who have DID?
I believe it is, yeah. Okay. As long as you're taking care of yourself and you're, you know, seeing a therapist still, at least, you know, make sure that it's somebody who knows what DID is and how it works, then absolutely, you know, who knew being with a supportive boyfriend, you know, would help.
And you are in a relationship.
Yes.
And it is a healthy relationship.
Absolutely, 100%,
and
yeah.
That relationship, you think, may have helped curb the instances of having these alters come out?
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know, you go from being in one relationship where you're terrified for your life every day, and then you go to the next one where you're just like, you feel so safe and so content, like nothing could ever bad like happen to you again.
When you were in those terrifying relationships, how often were your alters coming out?
Oh, every day.
Every day?
Every single day.
And what percentage of those times were you not co-conscious? You were in an amnesia state?
The majority of the time, because I felt very unsafe with the person that I lived with.
And what happens if you're just driving and a 3-year-old alter wants to come out?
That's why Devin is her protector, to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
So what if Devin wants to take over and drive?
And she can. She's 26 years old and she can.
Now if you're in the car, as Encina, and you're driving, and then Devin takes over, and Devin's driving.
Yeah.
And you get pulled over, and the police officer says, "Do you know I pulled you over?" And Devin says, "Well, I was going a little fast." And he says, "I want your driver's license." And you hand it to him and it says Encina. And then he says, "What's your name?" And you say?
So Devin will say Encina.
Devin will say Encina.
The alters, so basically the alters stay hidden. There's like 3 main rules for alters. To stay hidden, unless if they're welcome, you know, unless if you know like, oh, this alter is gonna come out. I believe you are an alter. I know that you're not faking. I'm not just doing this as like oh, show me a trick type of thing. To keep the past a secret, to keep it safe basically, and to keep the body safe. So within those 3 things, if they're doing those things, they're doing their job.
But there are people who have DID and their alters come out and they're not keeping the past a secret, and they don't care who you are. Usually
when it comes to the past, that's why the majority of people don't realize they even have DID, because they have had amnesia in the past. They don't know what happened to them in the past. They don't know why their mind is working the way that it is and why they're blacking out and why things are happening. They don't understand.
Real quick, can you list your alters and give me a 2 to 3 sentence bio for each?
Oh my God. Let's move past that.
No, too much.
Let's move past that.
No, we can move past it, but why is that?
There's so much detail with all of them. I basically, in order to talk to all of them. Like I said, I have this journal. They all have different handwritings. They all have different ideas.
And you have this journal?
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that it's the only way I could communicate with them in order to actually like understand what was happening to me. Because if you think of this, as me, Encina, I am also considered an alter. How do you know that Devin isn't the real Encina?
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I'm just the one taking over.
Right.
You know, it's a very scary thought for the person who has DID, because you never know which like personality is actually the one that belongs. Yeah, the very original.
Yeah, is that appropriate to say the real one or the original one?
The original, yeah. Because, I mean...
Because Encina's personality, who I'm talking to right now, could just be the one that made it to the top.
Yeah.
And why does that bother you?
It's not that it necessarily bothers me. It's more of a thought of like, there's still so much that I don't understand about it.
Is that why you don't want to go through your 11 alters?
I think it's just because they have their own lives as well. And not all of them want to share everything about it. So again,
I'm not pushing you for the answer.
Like I said, I've never even met all of them personally. Like I've only talked to some of them even just through paper.
Wow.
So I have a couple of friends who have met like all of them. And they're even a reason that I know of some of the personalities, because
you've never met them.
I've just never met some of them.
So I think most people will be interested in learning about these personalities. So we have Minnie, 3-year-old, dominant personality, comes out the most. We have Devin, Minnie's caretaker.
Yeah.
Now there are 3 more primary ones. Can you talk to us about those?
So there's Evla Zen. There's Alora.
Now all women.
All women.
Do you have any male alters?
I don't. I have. So I have twin alters, Quinn and Quentin. Quentin considers himself to be kind of versatile.
Oh, like...
That's the only alter that I have that's like versatile.
Like more gender fluid.
Yes.
Okay.
I also have an alter that is a fairy.
Like not a human.
And that's Alora.
Alora. She's one of the primary 5. All right, let's talk about Alora. What does she protect you from?
So she is... I mean, they're all gonna protect in some way or another. But she's basically like a very calm, rational, like, what can we do to get things done and situated, you know, things like that. So.
What is she like? I know she's calm, rational, wants to get things done. How does she talk? How does she sit? Like what?
She talks very calm. She's like thousands of years old from what she says. You know, she's a fairy, so she I think she's been one of the primary ones, you know, because as a 3-year-old, you know, you are trying to believe in magic and stuff, and I believe that's kind of where it came from.
Right.
Now, us as the person, the fronter, I don't create alters, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not like thinking, oh, I want this kind of a person, so it becomes an alter. Like, it's just...
That just happened.
Yeah. It's what you know.
Yeah. I think that's a really important thing to understand. People are going to be watching this and thinking, well, this girl's got blue and purple hair and she thinks that sometimes she like is a fairy. Like that's what people are going to think.
Oh, yeah.
What's the response to that?
The response is, I mean, the only thing I can do is just put out the information that I know, what I've gone through, my experiences, whether people believe it or not. Like it's not going to hurt me. I know what I'm going through every single day, you know, like, so if people are going through it as well, it's nice to be able to find other resources that can help.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, we were talking early on about how there are doctors and therapists and psychiatrists who think that this is not even not even something to be treated because it's a joke. It's silly. And not too many decades ago, that was the same response for homosexuality. You know, and so as we continue having these discussions and insight and doing the research, I think the stigma is slowly removed.
A big stigma also is that DID is rare, and it's not.
What makes you say that?
So if you look up the statistics, DID affects people, you know, the 1 to 2% of the population, of the human population, basically.
Okay.
And bipolar disorder is 2% of the population. Like, there's a lot of other disorders that are also in these small percentages that seem small, but when you really think about it, that is 75 million people to 150 million people that have been diagnosed.
You're saying 75 million to 150 million people have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder
and DID.
And another 75 to 150 million diagnosed with DID. Yeah, and those are the diagnosed people.
Yeah, that's just the diagnosed people. That's you know, again, I didn't know that I had it for 20 years.
Yeah,
because they stay hidden.
We've talked, we've done a few video segments on bipolar disorder, and the amount of that goes undiagnosed is staggering.
Yeah.
You know, people just think, oh, you're depressed, or wow, you have these moments of where you're just killing it for 3 days straight. But, you know, it's an actual disorder that has to be treated. Do you have any alters that are dangerous?
No. I had an alter when I was like a teenager that would come out and cause a lot of trouble. Again, it was me thinking that I was just a troubled person because things would be happening and I'd be like, why am I yelling like this, or why am I this angry?
Interesting. How old were you?
14, 15, 16, around that age. And even my mom would be like, you're like a very troubled teen. Like, what can we do for you?
But the reason I asked how old you were, every teenager goes through that. 14, 15, 16-year-old, they get an attitude, they're yelling, they're screaming, whatever. Yours just happened to be a symptom of something that most people would never even think of.
Yeah. So my mom just thought for a long time I was this troubled teen. And going through the therapy and stuff, we were able to basically kind of, I'll say this in an easy way for people to understand it, kind of mend her into the other alters as well. So she's not like her own singular angry alter anymore. She has become kind of a part of the system as a whole.
Part of the system. So interesting how you think that terminology you used.
That's what a lot of people with DID, they call their system a system. They call all of their alters in general together, that's their system. Some people, it gets so detailed and so like intense because of how deep their DID goes. Again, everybody's is different. But with mine, I've been able to make it to where I'm not struggling against it anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to say something that I'm sure some people will say that's not politically correct, and how could you say that? But there are those who study DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder, and say that it could be the first superpower of humans. Because, for example, the New York Times did a story on a woman who either as herself or as one of the alters was blind, and then as an alter herself she could see. So let's just say she as herself, as Jessica will say, could see, but then as an alter was blind. There have also been cases of people who said, hey, I'm Kyle, I don't have diabetes, you can take my blood. They go into one of their alters, they take blood, and those blood tests come back as being positive for diabetes. So if that is true, and you can have blood that is diabetic and then not diabetic, and the same human being, just because something something's going on, that's a superpower. Do you feel like it's a superpower?
I feel like people in general have like power, if you will. You know, you have the power to make yourself a happy and healthy person with work. Everything takes work, you know. So, I mean, I don't want to say it's a superpower as in like one of us is going to be able to fly and the other one can't. But I mean, I believe these situations is to be true as well.
Are you happy that you have DID?
I am now, because without it, I would have traumatically experienced every single encounter that happened to me that caused me to have DID. I would have, you know, remembered it, and it would have been like this is happening to me, basically. So my alters took over. I was blacked out. It happened to them, if you will, and there would be
therapists who would say you need to go through that, though.
I feel like the therapists are more like, you have to remember the past and go through the work to heal from the past.
That's what I mean.
In order to heal from it, yes. But not necessarily like you should be getting raped.
No, of course not. Of course not. But that you should understand the past, so you can get past it.
Absolutely. And that's what happened. My alters ended up coming out and saying like what happened to me and like how it happened.
So you've gone through that.
So I've gone through the healing. I've gone through the, you know, work, and I'm still going through it. You know, I go through it every day.
Yeah, forever probably.
Yeah. So like one of the hardest instances that I went through, well, one of the most frustrating ones when I was kind of fighting against this was Devin came out. I became friends with a group of people who knew of Devin and knew of my alters and such. But Devin ended up being in a relationship with somebody that I wasn't in a relationship with. So I had to share my time with the body. I had to know, okay, Devin's gonna come out and go on her date. I'm gonna come out and have to go to school. Like, it was a really frustrating time.
Were you co-conscious?
Not the majority of the time.
So you as the body are dating this person, but unaware of it.
I mean, I'm aware of it because I've been told they're dating.
But when you're out to dinner with this person on a date, no clue.
Unaware. Not there.
Couldn't say who the person was, where you went. I don't know what I had to eat. And then you...
So for me also, as one of the statistics that you were talking about, I am very sensitive to gluten, and my alters are not.
So when if right now, if you had gluten, you would notice the effects.
Yeah.
But if you were Devin, all good.
All good.
Wow. How great. But how would you know that if you're not aware? Oh, well, sometimes you are aware.
Yeah, sometimes I'm aware, and like so when I eat specific kinds of wheat or bread, like I get really tired, or I kind of get a little loopy.
Yeah.
And they're fine. It does not affect them whatsoever.
Eating bread.
Eating bread, yeah.
When you meet somebody, when do you tell them, or do you tell them you have DID?
I don't tell everybody. If I'm really close to somebody, then I might let them know. But for the majority of the time, like, I'm not just going out there and being like, hey, I'm Encina, I have DID,
You're in a relationship. When did you tell him?
I told him, it took a couple of months, but, I ended up telling him, and he's never met anybody with DID, and...
Most people haven't.
Yeah, so he was very skeptical about it, like most people are, and he started to understand, how it was as he was spending more time with, like, Minnie and stuff, so...
He's met Minnie. And what does he think about that?
Oh, it's a normal thing now. Like, he's like, okay, you have DID, that's fine.
And so Minnie just shows up and he hangs out with a 3-year-old in an adult woman's body.
Yep.
People are going to hear that and go,
oh, yeah.
How is he doing that? And how are you doing that? I mean, that's just going to be the reaction.
Yeah.
But you guys have made it work.
Yeah.
Wow. That is really fantastic. When you tell somebody, I have dissociative identity disorder or multiple personalities, what is their reaction?
A lot of people, their only experience from it is from Hollywood, from TV, things like that. So they're going to think, oh, the Jekyll and Hyde thing. They're going to think, oh, are you dangerous some days and not dangerous other days? But I think that's the majority of the reaction that I get is like, oh, do you do this? Or does this happen?
What are the questions you get?
Questions like, oh, do you get really angry at times? And like, where does that come from? Like, no.
Yeah.
It's they're normal people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they're normal people, but it is not common to have someone who has 11 different personalities, some of which that you wouldn't even know you were being.
Yeah.
But right now I am talking to Encina.
Yes.
And if I was talking to an alter, would that alter lie to me?
Possibly.
So there is a chance I'm talking to an alter that is just saying they're Encina.
So I'm going to say no because I am Encina, but I get what you're saying.
Wouldn't the alter say that?
I absolutely get what you're saying. Yes.
So there's a chance, though.
If they don't feel safe, they're going to pretend that they're me. If they feel safe and they just are doing their thing, then they'll be themselves.
Do you know, let's assume you are presenting as Encina. Do you know how they feel about all these cameras and lights and craziness?
Yeah. So I actually had a YouTube channel like in the past, and I wanted to make light of DID. Okay. Not in like a I'm making fun of it, but let's not take it so seriously and make everybody think that people with DID are, psychos. Right. They're going to kill you or anything. So I started making YouTube videos, and I would have my alters come out. I would have some videos where I would basically ask my alters questions as me, and then they would respond as them. So it was a lot of cutting, like of the video.
And you would have to wait until your alters came out to do that?
Yeah, so I would have my friends help me film it and stuff. So it was a lot easier to transition into those. But
Can you voluntarily bring out an alter?
If they want to come out, yes. And only the ones that I'm like co-conscious with, really. Otherwise, like it's usually just a traumatic experience or some kind of like a trigger that will bring them out.
So Minnie and Devin would be the most likely to come out if you were going to prod them out. Okay. How has it affected your relationships?
I don't feel like it actually affected any of them like negatively. I have been in a lot of abusive relationships in the past, but that wasn't because of my alters. It was just because these people were very abusive. And now that I'm in a very healthy relationship, it kind of is just, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to kind of explain. It's fine.
What was the worst experience of having DID?
The worst experience would probably be going days without knowing what was happening. Not knowing where I have been or what I've done or anything.
And tell me about that.
I mean, if you wake up, days later and you're like, where am I? It's a scary feeling. That's probably like, I can't say that one is like harder than the other necessarily. It's just, it's all a very scary experience when you're not understanding or knowing what's happening.
When people ask you to explain what it's like to have DID or what it's like to have an alter come out, how do you explain that to them?
So, one description that I could tell you maybe, think of this. Think of your body as a car, okay? You're driving your car. You're in the front seat and you're doing your thing. So I'm driving my body, you know. Imagine someone takes you out and throws you in the back seat. Now they're driving, you're in the back seat though. You can fight for control of the car or the body. You might not always win that fight. You can see what's happening, just like you can see in the car, you're just sitting in the back seat. You can hear what's happening or what's being said. So that's kind of like as if Minnie had come out, but she was holding my hand. So I can still see, I'm co-conscious. Say someone stuck a bag over my head, threw me in the back seat. Now I can't see where the body or the car is going. I can't see where I'm going, I can't see what's happening. I can hear though. So it's kind of like a wall has been placed in front of my eyes. And that's another way of being co-conscious to a point, but I can't see. I can hear. Imagine someone, let's see, someone threw you in the trunk, okay? So you're in the trunk of this car. You know that the car is going. You can't hear what's happening. You can't see what's happening. You don't know what's happening. That is a type of amnesia that is happening to the body. And then imagine somebody has knocked you out, thrown you in the trunk, and then drove around, did their thing, whatever, and then put you back in the front seat before you woke up, and then you woke up. So now maybe this car is parked in a parking lot, or the body has walked somewhere. You don't know where you've been. That's full amnesia. That last experience is what most people think of when it comes to DID, but there's a whole level of like different types of switching or amnesia or, you know, alters coming out or not. If that makes sense.
I think that makes perfect sense. I think that will be the metaphor that people understand the most without having DID. But it amazes me that today you're happy you have it.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. If an experience happens that like I just can't handle, I know that they have my back. They're there to help me. So it's not, you know, a bad thing.
What type of doctors do you see and how many do you see for DID?
So unfortunately, I still haven't been able to find a doctor who specializes in DID in Arizona that is close to me. I have spoken to doctors who believe DID and who are very reassuring when it comes to it and stuff, and who will still talk to me about it and things, you know, like let me be me and let the alters come out and such. But I haven't been able to find very many that actually like are close to me and specialize in it.
Do you take medicine for this?
I don't. So there is no medication that you can take to stop switching or to stop the DID. You can take medications to help with whatever other kinds of diagnoses you have. So most people who have DID, they'll have, you know, one of their alters will have bipolar, or they'll be depressed, or they'll be they'll have like a heart condition, you know, so they'll take medications for those specific things, those other mental disorders, but there's nothing that you can take for DID specifically to stop it.
I know you don't want to, and I'm not asking you to, but why do you feel uncomfortable trying to bring Minnie or Devin out on camera?
So I don't feel comfortable with that because it's not my choice. It's their, you know, their own person as well, and if they wanted to come out, they absolutely could. Minnie used to come out a lot, and she's come out with the majority of my videos and stuff that I had in the past. She's met the majority of my friends that know that I have DID. But she's also, she has her own feelings too, you know, as a 3-year-old, and you have people who, you know, who are my friends who love her and then, you know, disappear and then they're not there anymore. So she has her own level of like, don't leave me type of thing, if that makes any sense, as a 3-year-old would.
Yeah.
So.
And none of your alters age. So Encina gets older.
Which is not always the same with everybody. Some people do have alters that age. Mine don't.
If you could have all your alters lined up, all 11 of your personalities, would there be some of them that you would love to sit down and talk to as Encina, and what would you say to them?
Oh, absolutely. Because me and Minnie have been so close for so long. You know, she's the first alter that I know of that would come out as a protector, and I can hear her voice. I can see what she's doing. Like they have their own world inside.
Can you see what she looks like?
Yeah, I can see what she looks like and
what does she look
everything.
like?
So she has like silver hair, and she has like a little beauty mark. She's really tiny. She's really cute. Like, it's... Hi.
Hi. You're Minnie?
Yeah. I'm Minnie. I'm 3. And
You're 3? What do you think about all these cameras? A lot of cameras? And do you like Encina?
Well, she's like my mommy.
What are those?
These are babies.
What's your favorite animal?
I like my kitty cat.
What's your cat's name?
I squeeze.
Oh, Squish.
And we have another one. He named a girl. And he's a very, very good one. He's scared all the time though.
Now, why did you decide to come out and say hi to everybody?
But because my mommy did videos like this a long time ago, I would do those ones too, and we had lots of fun. We had my mommy's other friends would be there, and they would help out too with the videos.
Yeah.
And it was lots of fun because I got to cut her, and I got to do lots of games, and I like it.
Okay, good. So what's your favorite game?
I don't know.
You don't
I
know?
like lots of them. I used to go to the park all the time, and we would go and go on the slide and go around like that, and we would play a lot.
Okay. And you like Devin, right? Devin's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are there any other friends that you like?
My mommy had lots of good friends that I like too. I like Alex, and he's really good to me.
Alex is. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you go to Disneyland recently? Yeah.
Yeah, and we go on rides, and they're lots of fun. And Denon likes to come out too to play on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're lots of fun.
Yeah. And how long have you known Encina?
All the time. She not go nowhere. She always there.
And do you, I know this is a big word, okay, but do you know what dissociative identity disorder is?
That's what my mommy said that we have.
Yeah. But do you know what it is?
It just makes lots of people be your friends.
Yeah. And so you like it then? Yeah. And you like Encina. And you feel safe with her. And Encina likes you too. And what's your favorite food again?
I like ice cream.
Ice cream. And now when you leave here, where do you go?
I have like my own house inside too.
You have your own house?
I live with Denon.
With Devin? And what does your house look like?
It's a big one. I have my own bedroom, and we play in there lots. And that's where I go if we had to do other things, if mommy has to be out.
Okay, so when mommy comes out, then you go to the house and play and stuff with Devin.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so when was the last time you came out here?
I not come out like that much more. But we can see what happened.
Oh, so you can see what's going on. You just don't. You don't have to. You don't always come out though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are there things? Or do you wish you came out more? Or are you happy to stay in your house?
I like to come out more. I like to come out and play and color.
And what?
And I like to color.
Oh, and color. Okay. Good. I'm glad you came out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're not nervous with all the lights and cameras.
It is lots of people.
Yeah, and all the people. Yeah. But you're good on TV.
Okay.
And so now, what are you and Devin doing tonight?
We probably color.
Color? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we can make lots of pictures.
All right. I love it. So what else can you tell me?
What you has an animal?
Yeah. I have a dog.
It's a puppy.
Yeah. You saw her earlier. So you like animals. And you have 2 cats. Yeah. Do you think the dog would like the cats? Yeah.
The kitties might be scared.
Of the dog? Yeah. But they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you okay with water, or do you want something else to drink?
I don't want muffin.
You don't want what?
I don't want muffin.
You don't want anything?
I'm not fussy.
Okay. Oh, you're not. You're easy. You're an easy 3-year-old.
Ah!
A lot of 3-year-olds are not. They're much more difficult than you.
No. Yeah, I try to be some friends, but it's very hard. They don't look like me.
What do they look like?
There's widower, and because I'm in mommy, it gets scary sometimes.
What gets scary?
Because there's widow, and they're not be my friend.
Like other 3-year-olds? They don't want to. Other 3-year-olds don't want to be your friend. But you have Devin though.
Yeah.
And mommy. So they're your friends. Yeah. And 2 cats.
It's so kitty.
I love it. What's so funny?
I just like kitties.
Oh, I get it. I get it. All right, so then, Minnie, when you're ready to go home, how do you go home?
I just, my mommy come out.
Oh, okay. You want to go get her?
Oh, okay.
How are you feeling?
Good, and a little nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Very nervous. Just it's big. It's a big thing to let Minnie out in front of like people that I don't know. It's nice when I'm able to, because I know that like Minnie really appreciates it because she can be herself. But it's really nerve-wracking for me as a person.
Were you co-conscious that whole time?
Yeah, I could see what was happening.
So what was happening on your end?
Just letting her do her thing, just letting her be her.
So you're just in the back watching.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I saw this one picture online once where it was like somebody had drawn a face. And so you see like the side of the head, it's like a view from the side, and what you can, like the eyes have like a projection as if you were looking like at a movie theater and somebody was sitting like watching what was happening through the eyes. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm almost like watching like as if I'm in a movie theater.
When Minnie says that you're like her mother, how does that make you feel?
It was fine at first, actually. It was a way for me to kind of relate to her. And that's kind of what we've gone with. You know, she calls me mommy, and that's fine. I mean, I feel like she's my little girl in a way. Like, I have to protect this little being that's inside, you know, so in a way, it's fine.
What do you say to the people who watch this and say, oh, she's just acting?
I feel like believe what you want. That's fine. Like it's not going to hurt me. I know what I experience every day. I would tell people just keep an open mind. That, you know, other people who have DID, it's possible. So, you know, it's a reason why a lot of people don't even come out about it. You know, I've been a part of different kinds of groups on like Facebook and stuff where, you know, a wife has DID and she's like, I've never told my husband because I just can't trust that he would actually like be there for me, you know? So just be supportive of the people that you love. And if they come to you about anything, keep an open mind.
Was what just happened a rush?
In like an adrenaline way, not necessarily, more of like a little bit of anxiety, like, oh, this is happening, okay.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
For Encina, not for Minnie.
Yeah.
Just excitement for Minnie. Yeah. What did Minnie think of me?
Oh, she was fine with you. She's fine with most people when she comes out. She just wants people to like her.
What did she think of all this?
She liked it. She was fine.
Why do you think she changed her mind?
I think it was because we've done videos in the past, and it's something that she got excited to do because, you know, we would come up with like scripts for it and stuff. And she got to play. It was her way of playing and getting to be, you know, with the adults and stuff. So, I mean, I've taken her to like the park and she's tried playing with like little kids. And little kids are more understanding about it. You know, they're like, oh, how old are you? Because she's walking and talking like a kid. And she says 3 years old, and they're like, oh, you're a big 3-year-old. They believe it, you know, but obviously the parents are going to be like, get this nut job away from my kids, you know, so it's a little rough. It's sad because she wants friends.
What happened when you did that?
She can't really have friends. She got to play with these kids, you know, and she had her toys and she brought her toys to the park too.
And then the parents said,
the parents kind of like looked a little bit, and I was with one of my friends who kind of talked to, who talked to the parent, and she seemed actually kind of understanding. Like she wasn't like, oh, this is weird, like I got to get my kids away or anything. But she's a 3-year-old that can't have her own friends other than like the adults that are around already.
It's so interesting to hear you talk about her like she is another person who's sitting here. I understand you're saying that they are people, but to me, I'm like, no, this is just Encina when she's acting like a 3-year-old. That's how it comes off.
Yeah.
Where we know that this is actually a separate human being. Wow. That just blew my mind. I've never seen anything before like that.
It's hard to grasp.
It's hard to grasp just sitting here watching it.
Yeah.
I didn't prepare to interview a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I was just sitting here going, well, of course I would love to meet any alters that could come. But then I kind of just didn't know what to talk to her about because A, she's 3 years old.
Yeah.
And but it's also a grown woman in front of me.
Oh yeah. I get it. I've met people with DID where it's hard for me to grasp because they have their own worlds and their own minds and their own personalities. And some of them are like wolves or like different like creatures and stuff that are mythological and stuff.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, oh, okay, how do I act in front of this other being or creature? Like,
Yeah, this wolf.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting across from an adult.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you wish everyone knew about people with DID?
I wish they like understood that they're not just an alter. It's not just an alter ego. It's not something that we made up. You know, these are other actual people with their own lives, their own likes, dislikes, their own taste in music, their own like personalities in general. They all look different. They just share one body. So it's, I wish I could explain to everybody how these people aren't dangerous. People with DID are usually the people to have stuff happen to them. They're not the ones that are gonna turn into like psycho killers.
That's a good point. If something traumatic has happened when they were young, and now they have DID as the consequence of that, but now are being victimized in a certain way because of the stigma attached to it, and they were the ones who were originally attacked. Huh. Have you met anyone else with DID?
I have, and it's been it was comforting. It was really, really comforting knowing that there's others out there that are comfortable enough to like come out of their shell and say, I have this too, and not like keep it locked away. Just the more that people can hear about it and know that it's real, know that there is hope, you know, it can only get better from here. You know, there can only be more resources from here. So the more that kind of stuff can happen and come upon people, I think that's going to be the best thing that happens.
Well, I think you're very brave for doing this, but I think you're going to help so many people who not only might be struggling with DID themselves, but maybe know somebody who is. And I think all of us doing our part to be educated on the things that we know very little about is the first step on that. If you like psychology and learning about mental health and want to learn more while meeting other people who are interested, explore your membership options using the link below this video or visit MedCircle.com. We first sat down with Encina in 2018 to discuss what it's like to live with dissociative identity disorder, but we didn't get the full picture. In this series, we flesh out Encina's full mental health journey. Welcome to the MedCircle original series, Encina Severa, living with co-occurring disorders. You're back. How is Minnie?
Amazing.
Good.
As
How are
always.
you?
Oh, struggling actually.
You're struggling, and we are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
If you're unaware who Minnie is one of Encina's alters, and we were fortunate enough, I was fortunate enough, to talk to Minnie directly and have a beautiful interaction. And if you haven't seen that video, you can definitely go watch it. I highly recommend you watch that first before watching this. My first question for you is, what was the reaction like when we posted that video and it blew up?
Honestly, like I'm used to getting a lot of messages and stuff, you know, because of my modeling or other things that I do, but I had such a big new following from people that wanted to know like everything about it. And like any question that they had that like I wasn't able to answer on the video, they asked through messaging and stuff, and I was doing my best to, you know, answer people that I could, but I got a little overflowed.
Was it overwhelming?
So, it could be at times because a lot of the questions were really like stuff that they were going through, but also like a lot of those things kind of compared to what I've been going through, and I'm like, I wish I could be there for you, but I'm like trying to be there for myself right now.
Yes.
So
I will say that the number one message I get, the most popular message I get, is about you in that video. And when we filmed that video and posted it, there was a part of me that felt, are people going to receive you, Encina, Minnie, in a positive light? Or is it going to be something that the internet, which is known for being a really tumultuous place at times, are they going to receive it in a negative light? And I only ever received, and out of the hundreds and hundreds of messages I got, I'm sure you got more than me, only ever received you and Minnie in a positive light.
Yeah.
Talking about your bravery. They want your phone number, they want your email, they want to reach out to you. They're like, please, we need Encina. And it made me feel so good about the interview because of all the positivity that came out of it on my end.
Yeah.
Do you feel that it was a positive experience on your end?
It was. It was a really, really good experience in general because I've always been very open about my life. When it comes to myself, I'm an open book. You know, if I'm struggling with something or something's going on, like in the Facebook days for me, like I don't have Facebook anymore, but I would post about it. And just so I could be there for other people.
Yeah.
And I've always considered myself a mental health advocate.
Yeah.
So being able to do that video was really, really like deep for me.
Yeah, it was, I could feel that.
Yeah.
I felt that it was deep for you. What do you think the number one question I got was from people?
Something about my hair, I don't know.
You know what, that's probably a close number two. The number one question I got, and this was in person because the only time I've ever been recognized for MedCircle videos is with you. When I'm out and about, they go, "Are you the guy that interviewed the girl with multiple personalities?" I go, "Yeah." The number one question was, I actually
have a lot of people who stop me on the streets or stop me and they're like, "Are you that girl that has DID?" Like,
and what do you say to them?
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And what do they ask
usually
you?
they're like, "Oh, I saw your interview on MedCircle and it was so inspiring," and they're like, they get excited about it and stuff.
That's good. Well, and you're easy to find in a crowd.
Yeah.
There's Encina. So the number one question I would get is, do you think she was faking it? And it didn't come, they weren't mean about it.
Yeah.
They were like, do you think she was faking turning into Minnie? And my response was, and I'm glad I can say this now publicly, that not for a moment did I feel I was talking to a grown woman pretending to be a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I felt like I was talking to a 3-year-old. And I think it showed because I don't know how to talk to 3-year-olds. I'm like, how are you? You know, like, what colors do you like? So that was the number one. Did you get any people who came to you and said, "You're a faker, you're an actor"?
I didn't get anybody that came to me like directly. I only got positive reactions, honestly.
Yeah.
But when I went through, I was trying to, in the beginning, I was trying to like go through the YouTube comments and stuff and like answer as many as I could and be active that way. And there was a lot of negativity there. So I was just like, I'm gonna just step away from this and like kind of just let it be, do its thing. It also just, there was so many.
Yeah.
So
how many messages do you think you get in a week or a day or a month?
I get at least 20 a day.
Every day.
Every day.
Right now you still?
Even now, yeah. I get, and just specifically about the DID, not about, there's other messages about
Whatever.
other things that I post, whatever. But it's majority, it is about, MedCircle and DID right now. So, yeah.
Why do you think people are so fascinated by this?
I think it's because it's not talked about very much. And a lot of people are like, I've never even heard about this. People have watched movies like, again, the Hollywood hype of like DID being scary and stuff. Like, they watch these movies and they don't even know that that's what it's called. They're like, I've watched Jekyll and Hyde and I didn't know that that was considered like a DID type of thing. So I think it's just not talked about.
In our 1-hour interview, I'm assuming you watched the interview.
Yeah. I cried my eyes out when I watched Minnie.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
What about it?
Just seeing her on camera and seeing like how brave she is. Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good.
It was a good thing. It was a good thing.
Had you seen her before in that way?
Yeah, I've like we've filmed Minnie like day to day, you know, but this was something that was just so much more important to me.
Yeah. Even though you're crying right now, it makes me happy.
It's a good cry.
Yeah, it's a good cry.
It's a good cry.
Because you get to see that.
Yeah.
And you just reminded me of something else. I actually showed it to a doctor, a psychiatrist, because I had explained that one of our videos was a woman who had DID, and she said, well, that's very rare. And I said, I understand. She goes, the chances of you actually having someone with DID are rare. I said, okay. And I said, would you watch the video? She said, sure. Show her the video, and we showed her a little bit of your story, and then showed her the actual transition to Minnie. And she goes, that looks real to me. And so I think there was validity, and the reason I'm sharing that is for the people who believe that you're faking it or acting or whatever.
Yeah.
I believed it was real experiencing it. And, you know, a psychiatrist also looked at that. And she obviously didn't diagnose you because she's never met you, but she said that seems real and not fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything when you watched it that you got, I didn't like that?
I mean, I kind of sometimes have a hard time like finding the right words. So even like right now, like I feel like I like kind of stumble over words, or I'll have like longer than normal pauses. But otherwise, I did the best I could, and I answered as honestly and openly and as informative as I could. And that's all I could do.
I think you explained things so great.
Thank you.
It was so clear and simple, and everybody loved your car metaphor.
Oh, that makes me really happy because like it's so hard to explain, and I was like, how else could I explain this? It just makes sense.
If you haven't watched that first episode of Encina talking about her DID, please do. But here is a clip of her using a car as a metaphor on what it's like to have DID. Take a look.
One description that I could tell you, maybe think of this. Think of your body as a car. Okay, you're driving your car. You're in the front seat and you're doing your thing. So I'm driving my body, you know. Imagine someone takes you out and throws you in the back seat. Now they're driving, you're in the back seat though. You can fight for control of the car or the body. You might not always win that fight. You can see what's happening, just like you can see in the car, you're just sitting in the back seat. You can hear what's happening or what's being said. So that's kind of like as if Minnie had come out, but she was holding my hand. So I can still see, I'm co-conscious. Say someone stuck a bag over my head, threw me in the back seat. Now I can't see where the body or the car is going. I can't see where I'm going, I can't see what's happening. I can hear though. So it's kind of like a wall has been placed in front of my eyes. And that's another way of being co-conscious to a point, but I can't see. I can hear.
So since the filming, have you transitioned into any of your alters?
Lately I have. I've been going through like a really stressful time and stuff, so I've had a little bit more. But it's still, I feel like I've gotten a pretty good like handle on it like lately, or in general now, rather than when I first started having like the symptoms from it and stuff. It was very hectic. But it's under control. It's not like crazy or anything. And like people ask like, well, can she work, you know, with this? And, you know, to answer, yes, I can work. At the moment, I'm not, but with DID in general, yeah, I can work.
We're going to go through more about DID and you in this series. We're going to talk about your other mental health challenges that you have. Do you want to briefly go through some other diagnoses that you have that we'll talk about today?
So I've been diagnosed with, God, it's hard to like list them all off because I feel like there's so many. So with DID often comes PTSD or CPTSD. So obviously you're getting traumatic stuff, so you're most likely going to be diagnosed with that as well. I have a major depression disorder. And my psychiatrist says it's with mixed features. Basically, to explain that is I don't have bipolar disorder, but I have some traits of bipolar disorder, just not enough to be considered bipolar.
I understand that.
So I have OCD, I have PMDD, God, I think there's some more.
And I know you're struggling right now.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about
anxiety as well.
Anxiety, yes. And we'll talk about that in as much detail or as little detail as you want later. But do you want to give the viewers a sense of what you've been going through?
So my depression has been really, really, really active lately. I'm like struggling with it pretty bad. For a while, like I wasn't able to see my psychiatrist to change my meds, and that's kind of what we're working through right now, is finding a medication that works. Sorry.
Take your time.
It's just been a real struggle. So I ended up actually taking myself because I needed help. I was like, I am having a hard time. I have like suicide ideation every day. So I took myself to an inpatient treatment center. And, you know, obviously I was really scared to do that, but I felt like it was necessary, and I'm just so desperate for help that I felt like it was a very important thing to do.
I commend you on that choice. I don't think most people would have the courage to do that.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And of course, you only share the stuff you want to share.
Yeah.
Only say the things you want to say. This is your time to do as much or as little as you want to do.
And I feel like if I can help other people, I'm willing to like bare my soul. Like if I can help somebody else, because I feel like I struggle so much.
Yeah.
And I'm desperately searching for that answer, that help.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as you help other people, know that the MedCircle team and myself will help you as much as we can.
Thank you.
Tell everybody a little bit about your life. Let's start with where you grew up.
So I was actually born in Riverside, California.
Oh, right here, baby.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I grew up in Goodyear, Arizona.
Okay.
So at the time, Goodyear was like nothing but cotton fields. But yeah, that's where I grew up. I lived in this one specific house for like, I think it was like 13, 14 years or something. And then I moved all over Arizona.
And you mentioned in our premiere episode that you're not working.
Yes.
But you have been working in the past. What has your work history looked like in relation to DID? Like, what have you been able to do and not do?
So when it comes to working, I can technically do any job.
Okay.
Like it's not like I'm being held back from anything because of DID. It's right now I'm not working because I was hired on as like a seasonal person, but I actually had to go on medical leave for the depression. So that's the only thing that's really kept me from like really getting back in there. But the types of jobs that I've done, honestly, like because I'm so into art and creativity, I've kind of bounced around a lot, and I've done a lot of different jobs that just kind of made me curious. For example, like I don't eat seafood. I'm not a fan of fish or like anything like that, but I loved the art of sushi. So I became a sushi chef for a little while.
You know, just like on the
just to
side.
do it. I wanted to learn how to make the sushi, and I loved how they looked, and that's what got me into it.
You kind of have this soul that goes with the flow. You have a flow soul, like just whatever suits your fancy or whatever catches your interest, you go into that. Where do you think, or where do you hope that type of mentality will take you in your life? Because that's a very exciting way to live, I think.
So I mean, I'd love to be, I'm really into art. I'd really love to be able to do some kind of like at-home work where I'm just creating all the time. You know, anything that I've done has usually been about just creating something.
Yeah.
So if it has to do with me doing like do-it-yourself projects, I'm like, yes, like that's right up my alley. So as long as I can do something like that, I think I'll be like so happy, you know, like hopefully.
Yes, good. I like that. Now, your DID diagnosis came in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Remind our viewers on what led up to that.
So honestly, I'm not really sure like how it like led up to it. It was more, I had all these other things that I was kind of struggling with. My mom thought I was just this troubled teen, didn't know what was going on. And because I was having so many other things, it was starting to like stress me out. And then I think that's where a lot of the symptoms for DID started coming out, because a lot of people mistake thinking that once you have DID, which you get it from a child as being a child, but
well, it occurs during your childhood.
Yes, you get it when you're a child, and as you're growing up, you don't always have symptoms. So some people are like, I got DID when I was 13, and it's like, well, that's not how it works. It's like you still have DID when you're younger. It's just your symptoms started coming on at that time. So my symptoms started coming on in my early 20s, and I had no idea what was going on. I was confused. You know, when I was actually diagnosed, I was very much like, no, that can't be a thing. Like, I can't be trying to share my life with other people. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't think so. And I was very in denial about it. But the more I tried to deny it and push it down and like hide it, the more the alters were like, well, I'm going to test you. Like, I'm going to come out. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it got very hectic. Like, there's times when I like lost days where I was like, I would think it was Monday and it was really like Wednesday.
Because you've been in alter for the last 2 days. So what brought you into that doctor's office, and what did that diagnostic process look like?
So I was there actually for depression, and it's somebody that I was seeing out of her home, and she was, you know, such a sweetheart, and she ended up moving, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to continue care with her. But I was seeing her out of her home, and again, just kind of going through regular talk therapy and stuff, and we were doing some CBT stuff, as well as, I forget what it's called. There was basically like, she had these, I put in these earphones, these headphones, and I was listening to like these binaural beats. Like, they're like these specific tones that you listen to that help to like make you feel better and things. And I was really anxious at that time, and she explained that basically I turned into somebody else, and I started talking to her as someone else, and she was like, oh, okay.
And
let's
was
figure
it
this
Minnie?
out. No, she said it was an older woman. I don't know too much more about that, honestly. Like,
Maybe Devin?
It might have been Devin, since she's one of the people that comes out a lot. But otherwise, like, yeah, that was just kind of how it came about. And then as I started to, you know, accept that this is what it is, I started to, you know, try to educate myself as much as I could. I tried to follow other people on YouTube who had like DID and like wanted to learn about like their life and like how they were kind of going through stuff. And I found a girl who was going through all of the DID things, and she was explaining, oh, well, I communicate to my alters with like a journal. And I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. I'm gonna try that. So I tried it, and we did it for so long, and it was kind of mind-boggling, like seeing these responses just appear. And you
read them as Encina.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, like it's almost like as if you were like, there's a ghost in the house, and like, I'm gonna write the ghost like a letter, and
The ghost responds.
the ghost responds.
And there's actually 11 ghosts.
And there's 11 ghosts, yeah. So
That I just really understood.
yeah.
I really felt that. I
Yeah.
get that. Do you still communicate with the other alters?
Not as much through, like, I still use the journal with, again, the alters that I'm not co-conscious with. But they're very settled now, if that's the right terminology. They're not as active as they used to be. So whether or not, like, some of them or a majority of them have integrated into one another, or they're just not being active, like, I'm not really sure. For like my main alters that I am co-conscious with, I still like see that they're there. So I'm like, oh, I'm not like cured, like, type of thing. But I see that they're there, and I see that, you know, Minnie is still wanting to come out like every day and stuff, and she still wants to play, and but they're just not as active.
How do you feel about that?
So I have mixed feelings with it. I love it, and I don't necessarily hate it, but I kind of miss it, because once you live a certain way and you have these, like, they're almost like friends that you're just like, you don't want to start to feel like crazy or anything, but you can talk to these other people within yourself. And, you know, when they're not as active, especially Minnie, like, I'm so close to Minnie, and I just hold her so dear, that when she doesn't come out as much, I'm like, oh, like I miss that sometimes. Like, I'm really not a kid person, you know, like, I love kids and I love them like this, but I don't know how to be around kids. So it's kind of different with Minnie being inside me, to where I don't have to try and, like, pick her up, or, like, you know, because I feel like I would drop a kid. Like, so does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
As much as any of this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why we're having the conversation, to educate ourselves. When you say you talk to them, is there internal dialogue going on?
So
like,
it can be
explain
internal or external.
Okay. So you could just be in your car and in your head saying, all right, well, Minnie, simmer down, or Devin, what are you doing, or whatever.
Yeah, like if there's something that's happening, a big trigger that Minnie used to have was anytime I was around, like, an ice cream shop, she would jump out and get really excited about ice cream. And I had to try to, like, settle that down, because when you're around people that don't know that you have DID and this little girl comes out, ice cream, you know, and she's super excited, you have to be able to, like, communicate that with her and stuff. So I started recognizing that was one of her triggers, and, you know, I would start to feel like a transition was going to happen, and I could tell it was Minnie, and I can internally say, not right now.
But you can also say not right now and get overruled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it can definitely happen.
Wow.
But again, like, I feel like I've gotten, like, a better understanding and a better hold on how all of it works and stuff, and basically all of us kind of working as, like, a team, instead of being like, well, I need more airtime, like, type of thing, you know?
In addition to having DID, which is obviously a challenge itself, there are co-occurring disorders that you have. One of them being major depressive disorder with mixed features. When were you diagnosed with that?
So honestly, it kind of came about with, so I was diagnosed with that one specifically, actually pretty recently.
Oh, okay.
So I want to say they just added on the mixed features. It was, I want to say, maybe 6 or 7 months ago.
Okay.
But it all kind of started coming about when I was about, like, 13 or 14, when I was diagnosed with PMDD.
Which is?
Premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Got it. Okay. And you also have PTSD.
Yes.
Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. What is that?
So how I would describe it is basically like PTSD is when you go through one severe traumatic event, whether it was like a catastrophic like hurricane or like somebody like abusing you in some way, but it's like one thing and you have PTSD from that one like thing. CPTSD is when you've gone through it multiple times. You have reoccurring traumas, you have a lot of different like things that have happened to you over time. So it becomes complex because your trauma that you've gone through has been so much more severe, I guess.
What was your trauma?
I mean, I've had a lot of traumas ever since like I was a kid. Like my dad and his friends, this is where my DID came from, ended up like raping and like molesting me. I've had a lot of like abusive relationships and stuff. My dad actually at that time was very abusive to my mom. So I had to, I don't remember this, but my mom told me that I like watched him like drag her down the hallway by her hair, and I was like chasing after them trying to protect her. And so I've gone through a lot.
Have you gone through everything you think you need to go through to heal as much as possible from that?
No, I'm still going through the healing process. I'm still trying to find things that'll work for me. I've been in therapy since I was like 6 years old, I think. And it's still a continuation of what is going to work and what isn't, what medications are going to work, what isn't going to work. And so it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of testing and trying and work. It's a lot of work. And I think a lot of people, they give up or they don't go to the doctor because they're like, well, I know I've got issues. I just don't want to know about it. And right now, like I want to know because I'm desperate to heal.
Have you always been desperate to heal, or is that a new?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe that you will?
You know, lately, I don't know anymore.
Why do you say that?
I'm 30 years old and I've been in trauma therapy, treatments. I've tried medication after medication. Because of the mixed features that I have, they found out that I'm not supposed to be on antidepressants because that can make things a lot worse. It was kind of like described to me as if like you take these antidepressants and you feel better about your plan to commit suicide if there was a plan, which I don't have a plan.
Wow.
So, and that's usually what would happen with people. And they're like, yeah, so you can't be on antidepressants. So I have to be on, and again, just to kill the stigma, because it's called an antipsychotic, which does not mean you are psychotic.
I understand that.
So either that or like a mood stabilizer, or one of the both.
And you're working with psychiatrists or a psychiatrist?
I'm working with multiple of them because I was working with one and she was out of town. Like this was like over the holidays and stuff. She was out of town and they had to cancel and reschedule my appointment so much that it was going on like, it was going to be like 2 months when I was going to see her. And I was like, I was like, I need something now. So that's actually when I went into like the inpatient place and like had all of that going through. But now I'm seeing a new psychiatrist because she ended up going to like another facility. And I'm seeing how this is going to go. It's really frustrating when, you know, you don't have consistency. So that's really what I'm looking for right now is consistency. When I get like a therapist, like I want a therapist that I can stick with, you know, see my progression with and not have to reopen all these old wounds, and okay, I'm meeting someone new, so I have to explain every situation again.
Right. It's so good that you know that, though. Most people do not understand how to do therapy.
Yeah.
They go in it very blind. They go in it very uneducated. It's not their fault. It's just the way the system is right now. And they go to a therapist. One, they don't interview them. If they don't like them, that doesn't matter. They stay with them, and then they have a bad experience and just think, well, therapy doesn't work. Yeah, and it goes, no, that therapist didn't work for you and what you needed. And it is a testing, trial and error, perseverance, a relentless pursuit.
It really is.
And your mental health is key in going through therapy.
If you want to heal, you have to fight for it.
Oh yeah, say that again.
You have to absolutely fight for it.
Yes.
And that's what I've been doing.
Yes. Good for you to do that. How do you know, why do you know that and so many other people don't? Because
I want to, basically, I explain it like, I want to live.
I want to live. Oof.
I've struggled so much for so long. I just really want some relief.
Yeah. In the life where you're not struggling as much, where your struggle is what we consider normal struggle, what does that life look like?
Disneyland.
Disneyland. Wait, the reason that's so funny is because there was no thought. It was just like Disneyland.
That's my happy place. Like,
okay.
So I describe it like I have the suicide ideation, as in I'm not planning on killing myself. It's just the thought of not wanting to be alive every day. And it's not a thought that ever leaves my mind. And if I had, like, even if I'm having like such a good time with somebody, because you can have great times but still be depressed. If I'm having such a great time with somebody, but I had an on-off switch, like a little light switch that I could just pull to like just shut my life down, I would usually want to pull it. But Disneyland, I don't want to pull it.
Why? What about that?
It's just a happy place for me. It, the history behind it, everything that goes behind that place, and like, that's just how I live my life. I believe in magic, and I want to believe in happily ever afters and like true romance and things, and that place just makes it possible.
Is it unrealistic to want that?
I don't believe so. I think it's hard to find, but I don't think it's unrealistic.
What would you have to do to have a life that made you feel that way?
I don't know. I'm still.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Amen to that. I get that.
That's what I'm searching for.
Well, I like that you know that you have to fight for it. You have to fight for it. You're already ahead of so many people by knowing that having that. You also have panic disorder and anxiety. When were those first diagnosed?
So, I mean, technically I've had it for a really long time, but being diagnosed with it, I think I was, I want to say maybe a couple of years ago that I was actually diagnosed with it. I didn't know what it felt like. I've heard other people saying, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. And I was just like, I don't understand that. Like, can you just breathe and like calm down? And, you know, and like, I would try to be there for them. Like, okay, what can we do? Like, what can help calm you and stuff? And, you know, most people just they're in a panic. They don't know. And I started going through that, you know, a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh man, like my heart felt like it was gonna like beat out of its chest. Like I felt like I was like literally gonna die or something, and it would just get really bad. there were so many little things that just started becoming triggers where like I would just start having a panic attack out of nowhere. I would take like an Uber to work or like into town or something, and like just being in the car, I would like, okay, hold on, you're okay, breathe, like you're safe, you're in a car, like you're just going to work right now, like I would have to talk to myself like this and like do these breathing exercises, and like through all of the therapy that I've been through, they basically teach you coping skill after coping skill after coping skill. And for me, when my anxiety is that high, like nothing really works. Not even like medication that I've been given, like it kind of numbs it a little bit, but I'll be awake for days with anxiety. So it's still it's a struggle.
You have slight OCD and ADHD. Is this true?
So yeah, I do have ADHD, and then slight OCD. Yeah.
And you have the PMDD. I'm least familiar with that one. Can you explain that?
So PMDD is basically, it's kind of like, you want to think of PMS times 100.
Okay.
So it's PMS basically. It's like something that's like grown out of PMS. So with PMS, obviously, both of them, you're going to have like cramping, and they should be normal cramps, not like debilitating cramps. If you're having debilitating cramps, that could be something else. Get it checked out. Basically, like you can have like a little bit of depression and things like that, but with PMDD, you're gonna have like really bad depression. You can have really bad mood swings. You can, like you can have suicidal thoughts and stuff, and it gets really bad. So I started having PMDD when I think I was 13 or 14. And I would be awake all night crying, bawling my eyes out, like for 2 to 3 days out of every month. So we recognized that it was a hormonal thing. It was something with my period. And, you know, I'd just be up like crying to my mom, I don't want to live, like I hate life, like, you know, and I was a teenager, like really wanting these things. And ever since, it's just been this cycle to really try and hone it down and try to figure out how can we get the hormones and the all the other chemical makeup of the mind like to just work together and like be on a better scale, because everything's just been so hectic.
Major depressive disorder with mixed features. CPTSD, panic disorder, anxiety, PMDD, slight OCD, ADHD, DID.
Yeah.
That's almost all the letters in the alphabet.
I know.
Out of those 8, which one is the hardest for you?
The depression.
Yeah, I figured that would be it. I want to ask you a question about the DID. It is often confused with borderline personality disorder, BPD. Have you ever had that discussion with your psychiatrist, or ever been diagnosed or misdiagnosed with BPD?
No.
No. So it's never come up on your radar?
It's never, They, I mean, I feel like professionals would know the difference. Like a lot of people don't know the difference. But I feel like the psychiatrists that I've talked to have been very like well educated, and the ones that, you know about DID, because that's usually what that's what I'm searching for. If I'm going to find a new like psychiatrist or a therapist, I'm looking for someone who knows about DID, who's been educated in it, just so they're not going in blind.
Yes. I know this is the first episode, and in the following episodes, we're going to go into more depth about your co-occurring disorders with DID, so the depression, CPTSD, etc. What will viewers get after watching the coming episodes?
I can only hope to give more education and kill more stigmas, and just really help other people who are just as desperate and searching for an answer as well. That's all I can do.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing it. With the major depressive disorder, when did that diagnosis come about?
Honestly, I think it first came out with, my PMDD, and PMDD leads to depression. Like, you've just got it, like, normally. So it was, I was young. I probably in my teens somewhere.
Okay. And what does it feel like?
So depression itself, when it's just the depression that I'm like suffering with, like it's really struggling basically every day to like get up out of bed, to not be tired and feel like you just don't have interest in things. Like, I actually wear this spoon necklace because one of my friends told me about like the spoon theory, and it's for people who struggle with like severe mental health or severe like chronic pain. So it's like a physical as well as a mental thing for people. And the spoon is kind of looked at as a measurement of energy. So that's your energy scoop that you're doing. So for people who are healthy and like going about their day, it can take like maybe one spoon or one, scoop of energy to like get up, get dressed, like take a shower, do your normal routine. But for people who are struggling with pain as well as mental health, like it can take a lot of spoons. And by the end of the day, if you're like, you've ran out of spoons, this is like my emergency spoon. I've always got like that one left, like energy to push forward and like get through the day. It takes a lot of energy to do simple things.
So you're having the mental symptoms of depression, but you're also experiencing the physical symptoms. Is that from the PMDD or the depression?
Both, depending on what I'm feeling. So like, obviously like menstrual cramps and things like that, that's PMDD. But then if you can't get out of bed, you're super weak. Like you can't do things that you normally can do on a good day. Your depression is kicking in and something's not leveled out. So
when your depression is at its worst, what does your day look like?
When my depression is at its worst, I'm almost in a panic because that's when my suicide ideation starts to kick in about like how much I just don't care to live. Like I don't care if things happen to me. It becomes a lot harder. Lots of crying, and the first thing that I do is I reach out to people, to anybody and everybody, people that I don't talk to anymore, friends, family. Like I try to build a good circle of people that I can go to when I'm having those like episodes or those really hard times, because I mean, everybody needs a connection. Everybody needs people that they can depend on. And without that, you're missing a very, very important like human aspect part that everybody needs to grow. And I feel like I just don't have that right now. So I've been just,
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
I want to talk about that, but how did you know to do that? How did you know to reach out to people when you're having those feelings?
One of my therapists was basically like, when you're in those times, like you can't be alone. You have to find somebody to be with you, even if it's 1 a.m.
It's a good
2 a.m.
therapist.
You need to find somebody to be with you. And again, I'm so desperate to find the answer. I will listen to any suggestion that is thrown my way from professional help.
Yeah.
From professional help.
Callie has nothing of value to add. Yeah.
So that's just what I started doing. I started reaching out to anybody and everybody, and even if I'm not close to the person, or like I'm trying. So
I think that it is a testament to your therapist, but it is even more of a testament to you, because I've been very open about my depression diagnosis at the age of 9. And it's happened 3 times in my life where I've been so depressed that I can't do anything.
yeah.
But my instinct is not to reach out to people. It is to further isolate myself.
Yeah.
But you don't have that feeling, or you fight through it?
I do. I fight through it. Like, I don't want to be a burden on people. So my instant, like, thought process is just leave them alone, like, or they're not going to help you out the right way, or, you know, they didn't help you out in the past, so why are you trying again? Like, I go to all of these different things that tells me not to reach out, but I force myself to do it anyways. Like, I'm not very close with, like, my family, a lot of my family, and you know, I will still try. I'll still try, and you know, I feel like you kind of learn who are your true friends and who are really going to be there for you when you reach out. And it's not like, oh, I'm having a good time with you because we're having a game night or something. Like, when you're really in your, like, down in the dumps and you're, like, hitting rock bottom for yourself, like, it's really hard for certain people to be around that and to be able to know how to be around that. So you learn who's really going to be there for you.
When you do reach out to somebody in those moments, what do you hope they will do?
All I need in those moments is just to know that someone's going to be there for me.
What does that look like?
For me, that's more, I need somebody who's going to be more empathetic rather than sympathetic.
Yeah.
So I need someone who is comfortable, like, coming over and giving me a hug.
Yeah.
You know, I need someone who's comfortable listening to me rather than, you know, being sympathetic of, like, tapping me on the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I get that it makes some people uncomfortable when someone's crying. You know, I get it. But that's not what I need. Like, it makes me feel more like a burden. Like, it makes me feel more ashamed. Like, oh, I shouldn't have contacted you. I'm so sorry. Like, and then I start to feel more depressed because I feel like I'm a burden on someone else. And it just becomes this, like, vicious cycle. So finding those people that can be there for you the way that you need people to be there for you is very important.
With your mixed features, are the features episodes of mania?
Honestly, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Like, she just kind of gave me that diagnosis and we didn't, like, go into too much about it. It was just like, here, fill out this questionnaire, like, let's talk about it a little bit. But then she didn't tell me, like, this is why I'm saying you have mixed features. I guess I should have asked.
Well, so I'm assuming this will be something that you guys discuss further, get clarification on. But that diagnosis has kept you from going on an antidepressant.
I've been on antidepressants in the past, and they haven't helped. They've made me feel like a zombie. Like, they didn't make me feel sad anymore, but I also wasn't happy. I was literally just, like, going about my day and just kind of on like a robotic mode, just getting things done because I knew I was supposed to be doing these things. And I didn't feel any joy. I didn't feel any, like, sadness. I didn't feel depression. I didn't feel anything.
You didn't feel.
Yeah, I didn't feel. And I was just like, yeah, I'd rather not be on that. So knowing that that was probably just not a good thing for me in general, I'm like, okay, well, let's find what is good.
Do you take anything for your major depression and mixed features now?
Yes. But that's the medication we're kind of, like, tinkering around with. Like, we've tried so many already, and unfortunately, I think almost all of them actually, all of the medications have a side effect of, or can have a side effect of, akathisia, which is basically where your body feels like it can't stop moving. And it's very fidgety, like, you feel very restless and it's uncomfortable. And because your body feels like it needs to move or twitch or whatever, it becomes kind of painful. And it flares up my anxiety, and it flares up so many other things. So,
are these antipsychotics?
Yeah, they're like the antipsychotic, or the mood stabilizers. So I think it's like the mixture of the two, or like one or the, I don't know. I've been on a whole bunch of them, and unfortunately, the lowest dose that I'll start on I usually don't get side effects or anything, but then it's once we get bumped up to the next dose is when I start getting akathisia, and I actually get the akathisia, so it's really uncomfortable.
So you guys right now are trying to find a combination that addresses your symptoms but doesn't provide a side effect of akathisia.
That and some of the other ones, like they become like you'll get really tired.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find something, because I'm pretty sensitive to medications in general. We're trying to find something that's not going to make me too drowsy for the rest of the day, so I can actually get through my day. And then we're trying to find something that, doesn't give me akathisia.
In future episodes, we're going to talk about your other diagnoses. But is major depressive disorder the one that's taking precedent in your treatment, or are you treating all of them at the same time?
I guess I'm treating all of them at the same time because I'm on medication for a bunch of them. However, the one that, like when I'm in therapy and stuff, the one that I'm majoring, the one that I'm most focused on is my depression, because it's just taking over my life.
It's debilitating, yeah.
It is debilitating me.
I so understand that. And I say that to empathize with you.
Please,
because unless you've been where you are, you don't get it.
Yeah.
This is really for, I think, the parents watching this. If your kid has depression diagnosed by a reputable psychiatrist or any professional, you have to understand it is not just just
get up,
take a shower, put on some clothes, take a walk.
Yeah.
For me, it's the most debilitating thing in my life. I have Crohn's disease. I think I rather get rid of the depression and keep the Crohn's.
Yeah, that's me too. If I could get rid of the depression, I feel like it would take such a huge weight off of everything.
Yeah.
Like for me, the depression has literally, I was working and it was great. I loved the job. It was actually the most supportive job that I've ever been to. And they were very much like, if you need a mental health day, you take that mental health day, because we want you to be here as best as you can
fully,
be.
Right?
Yeah. They're like, we're not going to penalize you for taking a couple days off for your mental health. Please, let us know. So I was very upfront and very honest with them about it. And I went on a medical leave, and I was at work and I couldn't concentrate. I was crying. I was, I was a mess. I actually could not work. And again, I couldn't work because of the depression. It had nothing to do with DID.
Right.
I ended up taking myself to an inpatient hospital, and I was there for 8 days. I was given the option to stay for a night. And I want to talk about this just because I want to kill some stigmas for some people and kill some fears. Because it is a terrifying thing to think that you're going to be locked up and stuck in this place that you're stuck. I ended up taking myself, and I was just desperate. I needed help, and I needed help now. I couldn't wait for my therapist or my psychiatrist to be available in a week or 2 weeks. I was like, I need something absolutely right now. They gave me the option to stay for a night and try it out. And then I learned once you sign yourself in, you're there. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna make the best of it, because I'm not getting out like I was thinking I was going to. I'm gonna sit here and I am going to take everything that is thrown my way, and I'm going to take as many learning lessons from it that I can. I'm gonna take as much of it and turn it into positives and try to grow from it. During the day, you're in group therapies all day long. And that is what I loved the most, is just the therapies. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I need. So I decided that after I got out, I was going to continue with outpatient care. So right now, I'm actually doing 5 days a week of outpatient treatment and it's 4 to 5 hours a day.
Wow. At the same facility?
It's a different facility, but it's very intense, and they actually cater to like the physical side of things as well as the mental side of things. So they provide so much, and it's amazing. It's been great, you know. They provide like yoga and Tai Chi and acupuncture, physical therapy, group therapies, like your solo therapies. Like it's just everything like all kind of rolled into one. So they're really, really putting in this work, and you just have to put the work in as well. Like you have to show up, and you have to like really go through it and really try to take positive things from it so you can get better. And a lot of the things that I'm going through with the group therapies and the therapies in general is stuff that I've done for so long. So a lot of them are like, you know, well, you've gone through so much therapy that we're still trying to find what's going to work for you.
If you were going to describe your depression with one word, what would it be?
That's really hard. I immediately go to death.
Death. And if you were going to describe you with one word, what would it be?
Colorful.
Can you flip your hair when you say that? Colorful, I like
it's
that.
Really hard. I was like, maybe magical, maybe like romantic. Like
I would describe you as a fighter. You are a fighter. And you have the fight innately within you. And I think a lot of people do not. A lot of people's first step is to pull the fighting out of them. Come on, like you've got to fight for this. And you naturally are fighting for yourself. And it's evident with your persistence, your perseverance, going to therapy 4 to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, not giving up on you. And so I call you a fighter.
Thank you.
What do you want people to know about depression?
It's real. It is very real, and it's not just think a happy thought. Just smile. Just think positively. Like, just do all these positive affirmations. Like those are great things, and they can help very little. But when you are chemically imbalanced, literally, there's something in your brain that is not giving off the right chemicals to give you that happiness. There's nothing that's going to help unless you get that fixed.
People are very familiar with the PTSD, but you have CPTSD. You briefly defined that for us in a previous episode, but what exactly is the difference between PTSD and CPTSD?
So the difference is kind of what I touched on before, is basically PTSD is where you have one occurrence happen that was traumatic, and then CPTSD is when you have reoccurring traumatic events happen.
Okay. And you talked about the reoccurring events that happen throughout your life. We don't need to talk about that again. But how has this complex post-traumatic stress disorder affected your life?
It becomes more intense.
What does?
The PTSD that you have, like, so that's what makes it complex, is it just makes it so much more intense. You get more triggers. You have and when I say triggers, for people who don't know, like triggers are basically, it could be anything, a smell, a word, an object, just a feeling. Like anything can become a trigger to bring you back and have like maybe flashbacks, or to get, like if you went through a traumatic event and you were eating like an orange, like later on your mind could actually create like a trigger with oranges. You can, like, once you're eating an orange, or if you smell orange juice, or you smell oranges or like citrus or anything like that, it could create like a trigger, and all of a sudden you're getting anxiety or like a panic attack for no reason, and you're like, I don't know what's happening and I don't know where this is coming from. So it creates like so many things in your life for like more struggles, basically.
Yeah. When is the last time you've had a panic attack related from a PTSD trigger?
So that's the funny thing about like CPTSD or PTSD. You don't always know why your triggers are a trigger, you know, because you might not remember, oh, when I was going through that, I was eating an orange.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, of course.
you might not remember stuff like that. But triggers are, for me, can be very little things to like really big things. Like I have a really hard time going into like sports bars, because at sports bars, people get very riled up about their teams and they get really like aggressive, and like, even if they're yelling, you know, positively because they scored or something, for me, that yelling is still yelling. And that yelling becomes a trigger for me, and it creates a lot of anxiety for me, and it creates a lot of like panic. My body automatically starts thinking that I'm in trouble. So, you know, anything from that to like little things, you know, I have little triggers of, you know, certain words can be like little triggers and stuff, but it still creates like a panic, and it still creates something within me that makes me feel like I'm unsafe.
And when you go into that panic, can you go into more detail about what that feels like?
My heart starts racing. I start getting really bad anxiety, and if my anxiety sits for too long, or I have anxiety for too long, I actually start manifesting physical symptoms. I start having really bad acid reflux. I start having like, you know, if you burn your skin and you get like a blister from where you've burned yourself, that pain that you feel, it starts manifesting all over my body. Like, and this was just a recent manifestation that started happening because my anxiety started getting like really bad. And literally it's like all over. It just starts becoming so sensitive to where I can't move, and I'm like, okay, it's okay, you got to start breathing. So I started, you know, I've been doing a whole bunch of like breathing techniques and coping skills that I've been taught, you know. You have to get yourself to calm down and like understand that you're safe. So it takes time, but if you're consistent with it, I'm told that there's a lot of like help out there.
Are all of the panic, I'm calling them panic attacks, is that correct?
Yeah, okay. Panic attacks.
Are all these panic attacks, do they all feel the same, or can they be different?
They're different.
Okay.
Sometimes like I'll become super clammy. Like if it's not like a really strong panic attack, I'll start to feel like kind of fluttery, like it's gonna happen. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then you start thinking about it happening, and you don't want it to happen. So you start to panic more, and it just, you create it yourself, and it's frustrating. So sometimes I'll have like just a fluttery heart and like clammy palms. Sometimes like I'll become super flushed, and like my mouth will go dry. Like it's a whole bunch of different symptoms that I'll get, and sometimes I get all of them at once.
Wow.
So it's frustrating and scary at the same time, because you know you're safe, you know you're okay, and you're panicking for no reason. So you start to feel like frustrated with yourself, like, come on, like you're better than this, like, but it still happens.
I understand that. How long do they last?
I've had panic attacks last for 3 days.
3 days?
And it kept me up for 2.5 days. I was prescribed, am I allowed to like say what I've been? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been prescribed like Xanax. I've been prescribed hydroxyzine, because hydroxyzine, originally I was prescribed because I also have cold urticaria.
You have what?
Urticaria or urticaria. Doctors say it differently. It's basically I'm allergic to cold temperatures. So the way that somebody would have an allergic reaction to like peanuts or like a bee sting, if they were allergic to those things, I have that same reaction with cold temperatures.
So if you walked into a walk-in freezer, you would just break out?
I would break out, but if I stayed in there long enough, I could go into anaphylactic shock and I could die from it.
Okay, so how does that relate to the panic attack?
So basically I was given hydroxyzine for that, but hydroxyzine is an antihistamine, which naturally lowers everything in your body, basically makes you more tired. So for my panic attacks, they're like, just take hydroxyzine first. and see if that helps. If that absolutely doesn't help, then go to your Xanax, because Xanax is addictive, and they don't, I don't want to become addicted to anything. I want to be safe and stuff. So Xanax is usually my last resort. But when I go to my Xanax and my anxiety is way too high, it just kind of numbs me a little bit, but my anxiety is still so deafening that it keeps me awake for days.
And how many multi-day panic attacks have you had?
They haven't been very often. I mean, I just kind of started having panic attacks within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I started having those really intense ones maybe like 6 months ago or so.
Are these panic attacks, do you find that they often come on after something else has happened?
Yes and no. Again, like they're usually situational.
Okay.
Something has happened and I'm stressed out, and it's causing more stress, which causes my anxiety to go up, which causes like a panic, and like it's just like this vicious battle. So usually that's what they're from. I don't get like those really intense ones just because I had like a small trigger, like not usually. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm thinking about something that is really stressful, and it'll create like a panic attack.
When was the first time you had a panic attack?
A couple years ago, when I was in California, I was actually living in California, and they started happening like more regularly. So I don't remember when like the very first one was, but they started happening more regularly, and I would call someone and like say, hey, I'm having a panic attack, like can you just like help like talk me down, someone that I trusted and like who I would talk to all the time about it. And this person would help me calm down and like, you're safe, it's okay, remember your breathing, like basically who was there for me the way that I needed. And it would help to calm me down a little bit, because the panic attacks get so bad to where like it'll create like such dryness in my mouth to where I'll start getting really nauseous, and I'll start feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up everywhere, and I don't want to do that. Like, so it becomes like a panic to calm your panic.
I get that. After your panic attack, after 2.5 days, what do you do?
I try to sleep. I try to sleep.
Isn't it easy to sleep by then, or no?
No, it's
Still,
still like I'm
coming
still
off of
so like energized in such a negative way that it's so hard to calm and settle my mind. And that's usually what's keeping me up, is just my mind is just going a mile a minute. I can't settle it down.
Was the complex PTSD and panic attacks diagnosed at the same time? So
No.
explain that process to me.
The PTSD kind of came along just because it was, I had gone through trauma in the past and stuff. So I think I had that before I had my DID diagnosis, because I had triggers and I had things that were happening, and the depression kind of fed into that and stuff. So the anxiety, I think I started having it a couple years ago. So
The anxiety.
yeah, the anxiety and panic attacks and
Okay.
just the panic disorder.
So CPTSD was first.
Yeah.
And then
So depression was very, very first.
Yes.
Or I guess PMDD was first.
Okay.
And then I think depression after that.
Yeah.
And then,
CPTSD.
yes,
and
CPTSD, anxiety.
And DID also was one of the first, but didn't see the symptoms until or later in life. Okay, and then diagnosed around the 20. So with the CPTSD and anxiety, is this something you deal with daily, weekly, monthly, once a year? How often?
The anxiety at the moment is daily.
Because you're going through a really tough time.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what is going on right now that's making things more, or is there something that's making things more complicated or difficult right now?
I guess we can touch on it a little bit. I'm recently going through a breakup, and the person
was like, the person was everything to me, you know. The person was the only person in my life, family, friends, people that I've met, like the only person who's ever actually been truly empathetic with me, you know. When I'm crying, he went to me and he was holding me, and like, you know, I'm going through a hard time, and he was that really strong advocate of like, you can do this, like you're strong, you've been through so much. And you know, at times I don't feel strong, I feel super weak. And you know, I hear from so many people, it's that you're fighting, so you are strong, like you've got this. And it's getting harder every day. I feel like, you know, everything that comes along with it, it's getting worse as I'm getting older, and it's making me more desperate than ever to find an answer and to find something that will work for me.
Do you feel there's a possibility that things are difficult right now because that is part of the process of finding a solution?
I feel like right now it's extra difficult because I'm going through a grieving moment. You know, I'm going through grieving.
Yes.
I lost my best friend.
Yeah. And breakups are like deaths.
They are, and I mean, they've been actually proven that they can be just as bad, same as like divorces and stuff.
Yeah.
It's bad. So I'm grieving, and it's making all of my other things that I'm struggling with and I've been trying to work through so much harder, because I almost have to put my trauma therapy on the back burner to like deal with what I'm dealing with now.
With the grieving.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I totally got it. I totally get it now. So I am already struggling with depression, DID, CPTSD, all of these things, which is enough by itself, but now I have to grieve. So these things that are already difficult have to take a backseat so I can deal with the grieving. Yeah, I get that. I understand that.
and it flares them up
Yeah,
so much.
which makes them worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. That's hard. That's difficult.
I mean, this is probably the hardest time I've ever been in my life. Like,
Wow.
like I've just like Disneyland and being like my happy place, and that's what makes me want to live. He made me feel like that, and that was the only person that's ever truly really made me feel like that, you know, to where I didn't want to pull that plug. I didn't want to end my life. Like, he made me so happy. And you know, going through the breakup has left me kind of homeless right now. Like, I'm staying with friends, and it's just put so many other stressors on my life that it's just making it unbearable.
I believe that the worst things in our life come to us because we have to learn a lesson
I
from
absolutely believe the same thing.
it. You believe the same thing?
Yeah.
Do you know what the lesson is from this relationship yet, or are you still learning it?
I feel like I need to just work on myself more. I'm in my relationships, I explain people have the things that they're passionate about, or the things that they throw everything into, whether it's your pets, traveling, your kids, your home, your relationship. And for me, it's my relationship. I've always thrown so much into it. And that's always how I'm going to be. But it's been so much of me giving and giving and giving that I haven't given to myself to put in the time to heal from my pasts and to really put in that work. So now I'm able to really focus on myself.
Yes.
I'm trying at least, and put in that work that I need to put in to really heal, because I can't heal myself if I'm also trying to heal other people that I saw as like my other half.
Right. And when you said he made me so happy, or he was my everything, he's what made me happy, no one should have that type of power over you. They should surely add value to your life, but you, me, we get to make ourselves happy first.
Yeah.
I can't be dependent on anybody else to make me happy. I don't, that's a personal Kyleism. That's how I live my life. You are not going to affect me that way. And maybe that's defensive, I don't know, but I think it's about, you know, to quote RuPaul Charles, if you can't love yourself, how the hell you're going to love somebody else? You know, it always starts with you before anybody else.
And I agree with that. You know, I have a therapist who kind of described it to me as like, you know what, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to have that relationship and that connection, because that's something that everybody wants, you know, or the majority of people. And whether it's that relationship that you want, or whether it's, you know, that house and you want to build this house and have it be beautiful and you just put everything into that, you know, like whatever it is, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Just like a mother who wants a child who can't physically give birth, you know, it's all okay, and those are great things to want, but it does come to yourself. You do have to put in the work for yourself.
It's interesting, in a world that we always say is so selfish, I think people need to be more selfish. I think people need to put themselves first more than what we're doing. Because we're getting a little off topic here, but when people look at selfishness, they look at, oh, well, they're posting pretty Instagram pictures, that's so selfish. That's for other people. That's for other people to look at you. I'm talking about being you. Let's be selfish with you, your time, where you're putting your energy, how you can be your own best friend, how you can be okay spending time with yourself. Because you've got to look in that mirror every day and go, oh yeah, I like that person, you know? And I don't mean you specifically, I mean all of us need to do that. CTPSD and anxiety, what do you want people to know about it?
Just with everything else, it's a struggle. And the more that it like goes on in your life, and the more that you're not putting in the work to try and like fix that or alter it for a positive outcome, the worse they get. They do get worse. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I am putting in the work. I am really trying. But, you know, everything at once, it's just become this massive tangled web that I am digging through and trying to pull pieces out from that I understand. And it's confusing and scary, and it's work.
PMDD, what is this?
So PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, is basically like PMS times 100.
Okay.
So all of your symptoms that you're going to get with PMS become super elevated. You're going to be very depressed. You can have suicidal thoughts from it. Your cramping becomes more severe. And again, it should be tolerable severe though. It should be tolerable. And it's just, it creates depression too.
When was the first time you experienced this?
I started experiencing it when I was like 13.
And when were you diagnosed?
Around the same time.
Okay, so it was evident that this was beyond normal PMS. Got it. And when you're having an episode, if that's the right phrase, what does PMDD feel like?
You feel, it's usually just a few days out of every month that you feel more frustrated or sad. You're crying at everything. Like PMS girls cry at like cute things and like things like that and stuff. And like PMDD, like you're crying, but you're also like hating yourself. Like you just feel really bad. It's not fun. It's a very frustrating thing. Like your hormones are so out of whack. You start breaking out really bad. You start like cramping really bad. You're going through all of these like physical and mental symptoms at the same time, and you're just like, oh my God, when is it gonna stop? And then it stops after a couple of days or a few days.
Is it possible to function normally during those 2 days? Go to work, see friends?
It's possible. Women do it all the time, but it's harder. It's a lot harder because you're just like, you're more in a slump. You're more in a depression, basically.
So explain to me the link between PMDD and depression.
So the PMDD, I think depression just kind of comes along with it, unfortunately. I don't think it's like a super severe type of depression. I think it's just a depression. Like when women have PMS, they get more sad, during those few days that their hormones are out of whack. So with PMDD, it gets a little bit worse.
So in your experience, would you say that depression is a symptom of PMDD?
Yes.
Okay, I understand that.
I think that my depression stems from so much more than that, but I think that it definitely, it's absolutely a symptom of it.
And you were so young getting this diagnosis. Did your parent or mother take you to go see a doctor?
Yeah.
And so explain that process.
So it's been so long. We went to the doctor because originally she was just like, you're just a troubled teen. Like, what is going on? Like, why are you so sad all the time? Like, you're crying, like wanting to die. And it was 3 days out of every month. And it took a little while to see that, like, the pattern. But once we noticed the pattern, we're like, obviously this has to do with something with your period. Like your period is definitely messing you up somehow. We're gonna get this figured out. So went to a gynecologist and they were just like, yep, you've got PMDD. And so PMDD can be treated by certain birth controls. So I was given the NuvaRing, which is just this little plastic rubber type ring that you insert and you leave in for 3 weeks. And it's kind of like I guess it's just like any other birth control, I guess. But that one really helps with PMDD, and it helped. It really, really helped lessen a lot of those symptoms that I was getting. So like, instead of when my depression and everything else isn't so flared up, I would only be crying for like maybe 3 days out of the month, but it would be like soft crying. So it was almost like the PMDD turned into PMS.
Mm-hmm. You never saw a psychiatrist for this?
No, I was already seeing like therapists and psychiatrists already.
So is PMDD a mental health diagnosis, or is it a physical one?
That's a physical one.
That
gives you mental ones. Because you still have to treat those mental ones as well.
Yeah, I just sounded like some guy from the 50s. Like, but you didn't go to a psychiatrist for your PMDD. Okay, I understand that. Now, does the NuvaRing still work?
Yes. So it worked for like, I want to say like maybe 4 years, and then it stopped working. The birth control obviously was still working. For the PMDD treatment, it stopped working. And that can happen, if you're on an antidepressant and it's working and being great, your body can do something else to it and it just doesn't work anymore. And it starts making you feel even more depressed and basically worse. So they suggested to stop using it. And I was like, all right, well, this kind of sucks because I don't know what else to use, because at the time that was kind of like the only option. Now I think they have a couple of other like birth controls that you can do. But I basically stopped using it for a while, but my PMDD was still so bad for so long and stuff, that like years down the road, I ended up being like, I have to try it again. I have to see if maybe my body like reverted back and maybe it'll work this time. And I tried it for a month and it didn't work. It made me more depressed. And again, a few years later, it's still so bad. A few years later, I dated someone who suggested you should try it again. I was like, I already tried it. Like, I don't think it's gonna work, but I tried it and it works. Again, thank you.
Oh, good.
Like, so yeah.
And it's working for you now?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
That's a good solution. Now you also have endometriosis.
Yes.
What is that?
So endometriosis it's physical. It's like a physical symptom.
Yes.
Basically, I hear it from women all the time, and even gynecologists. There is not enough education on women's health. If a woman or a girl, even just a little girl too, like who's having menstrual cramps, if they are so severe to where they are debilitating, it is not your period cramps that is causing that. Something else is causing that. And a lot of doctors like even just continue to say, oh, it's just period cramps.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
you just get a hot water bottle or whatever.
Take
like
a hot bath.
Take a hot bath, you know, like just whatever, just relax, it'll go away. And it's like, no, that is not normal.
Right.
It's absolutely not normal. I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and because I was like, no, I'm gonna figure this out, it took me going to 14 different gynecologists, and as well as a pain care specialist, as well as next I was sent to a pelvic pain care specialist, and that person was the person who was able to help me.
What compelled you to keep seeking answers?
Because I was like, I do a lot of research on my own and stuff, and you know, yes, I understand you can't believe everything that you read on the internet, but I also believe other people's experiences. And when they're saying they're going through the same struggle and the same symptoms and feelings that I'm going through, I'm gonna say, okay, what was your answer? What helped?
Yeah.
And they were like, they found out it's endometriosis. So I was like, I need to find out if this is what it is. One of the major things that's really unfortunate about endometriosis is you have to find it through surgery. You can't see it on a CT scan. You can't see it through ultrasound. You can't see it through anything else. You have to go through surgery to find it. And it's scary for women to go into surgery. And it's a stigma that another stigma that I just want to kill for people, that period cramps are not supposed to be debilitating. You're not supposed to be having such bad pain that you can't move, and you're having back problems, like you're having bowel issues, you're having, like, you can't be intimate. Like, these things are not normal. Like, seek help, seek more help. And if they're telling you no, it's just period cramps, seek more help. Like,
yes.
help yourself. Again, it goes along with everything else. You have to fight for your health.
That's what I was about to say. No one will fight harder for you than you. Not your mother, not your dad, not your brother, not your spouse, not your doctor. You have to fight for you in every way. Yeah, I love that. Anything you want to address about PMDD that we haven't addressed?
It's a struggle. It is a struggle, just like everything else.
Yeah.
Like, keep fighting. Just keep fighting. Find out what works for you. If, like, try the NuvaRing. If the NuvaRing doesn't work for you, then, you know, try a different medication, because there's different ones now, which, thank goodness, you know.
Yeah.
So.
This is, I think, Encina, the most. Actually, this whole series has been so good. I don't even think one episode can be better than the other. But this one, when we're really focusing on the treatment, I like, because it's so solution-based. We want to talk about what doesn't work, so we know what does work. And obviously, just because something doesn't work for you or does work for you doesn't mean it would apply to anybody else.
Yeah.
But understanding that process is really helpful.
Yeah.
So let's go back to when you were first diagnosed with any mental health condition.
So before I was diagnosed with anything.
Yeah. I guess, what was your first?
What was my first diagnosis? The PMDD was the very first one.
So at 13, you got your first diagnosis, and you went on the NuvaRing treatment. Okay. What about your first mental health diagnosis?
And then it was the depression.
Yeah.
Which kind of tied into the PMDD.
Right.
So.
How did that diagnostic process look for you?
Honestly, that one was pretty easy. It was just like, your thoughts of suicide, you're a teen, like, you're going through this monthly. It's like, it has to do with your period. It's more than PMS. Your cramps are, like, debilitating. Yeah, it's PMDD, so.
And then you got the depression diagnosis.
Yeah.
And was that from a psychiatrist?
Yeah.
And what happened once you got the diagnosis?
So that's actually when they started putting me on antidepressants.
Okay.
And, you know, I would try one and it wouldn't like work, or it would be like really uncomfortable being on it, and then they'd try another one and another one. And I think I'd ended up trying like 5 different ones until I was like, okay, I can't like do these ones anymore. It wasn't until later on they realized you're not supposed to be on antidepressants anyways. So
Which was only recently, right?
yeah, and that's just recently. So I haven't been on antidepressants like a long time.
That's a long journey.
It's been a long journey.
From 13, 14 to 30.
And honestly, like I've been really just kind of hoping that maybe if I get like my past traumas under control, or like work on those, then it'll lessen my depression, or, you know, things like that. And that's just kind of what I've been hoping for throughout all this time. But the depression has always been there every day, every single day. It's been a want to not want to live. Like,
right.
Almost like I don't want to do anything to myself. I'm actually afraid of pain. So I can't cause pain to myself. I've never been a self-harmer or anything like that. But if someone was to like hit me with a car, like I'm okay with going. I'm okay. Like, and it's really hard. It's hard for the majority of people to hear people talk like that, because that's not what society tells us we should be feeling or thinking. And that's what creates such a stigma, and that's what creates such a scare with people, because they don't want to be judged harshly.
Yeah.
Like right away, if I've ever told that to other people, right away they're like, you need to call the police, or you need to be locked up, or don't say that, you shouldn't, you just don't talk like that. Like, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to be honest? How am I supposed to open up and find the help that I need if I can't tell you guys?
That's a good point.
Like, I need to be able to talk about these things, and it's, for me, it's normal. It's an unfortunate normal feeling for me to feel. You know, I don't want to feel it, and that's why I'm fighting to find a solution.
Have you ever not felt that way?
When I'm at Disneyland and the last person that I was with.
Are there days now where you have moments where you don't feel that way?
No.
No. And so right now you feel that way?
Yeah.
Right now,
if I
these
had
beams came down and we died, there's a large part of you that would go, oh, that honestly would be great.
Yeah.
Wow. And when I said that, your eyes watered up. Where is that emotions feeling coming
I just
from?
don't want to feel like that. Everyone else talks about life and wanting to live, and you should want to live. You have so much to live for. You're so creative. You're so this, you're so that. You have people that love you. But that doesn't change the chemical makeup of my mind. That doesn't change the way that I feel. I honestly look at mental health the same way that people look at physical health. Like,
absolutely.
But a lot of people don't.
No, but
and it's really unfortunate.
That's why this exists. That exact reason. Because they should be treated the same.
When you've done everything that you can physically to heal yourself, when you have a life-threatening life, what is it called? What is that word? When you're going to die of cancer or something else, and you know you're going to die from it. Terminal illness. When you literally cannot have anything else to save your life, there are some states that will help you, like, do a medical assisted suicide. And honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, but I feel like if you have tried everything you can for mental health, you should be able to have those options. Because I feel like it's a personal option. It's a self thing. And I feel like when other people get involved, yeah, it's great. They want to help you. But when other people get involved for selfish reasons, you shouldn't want to die because I love you. I'm here. Like, that's not fair type of thing. It's like, well, I'm suffering. I'm literally suffering every day. And I'm tired of it.
Why do you keep fighting?
There's like 3 people in my life that I don't want to let down, that I love so much, and I don't want to let them down, so I keep trying. If it wasn't for them, though, I don't think I would have the fight.
Do you ever fight for yourself?
I fight for the just the hope that I'll get some kind of relief. I fight for that. I fight to see if maybe I will find an answer, you know? But I've tried so much. I've tried EMDR, CBT, DBT. I've tried so much. I've tried all this talk therapy and group therapy and yoga and breathing exercises, and I've tried so much. Tons of different medications, and I'm not feeling a relief. And as I get older, it's just getting worse. The place that I'm at right now, the inpatient or the outpatient place that I'm at, does a lot of education on why your mind is the way that it is, or why the physical health is the way that it is. So they described that if I'm going to just give a small example. Physical and mental health gets worse over time if it's not treated properly. So if you burn yourself on the stove, you might have like this really quick reaction to say, I was burned. Mm-hmm. And that's going to tell your body, okay, don't do that again. Mm-hmm. You might have a slower reaction and actually get like even more burned. And that's going to tell your brain, well, why didn't you like listen to me when I was telling you that it was burning? Like you stayed there longer. So I'm going to decrease your pain tolerance. So if you're normally, like everybody's pain tolerance, it should be at a specific level, but it gets lowered. And then your mind, say you start getting like a trigger, like you can't go close to the oven because all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna have that pain. You're feeding into that. So you're basically saying, I'm gonna have pain from that. I can't do that. You're giving yourself pain in a way. Mm-hmm. If you burn yourself again or something and you're doing like these things that are creating pain, like literally your body starts decreasing the level of pain until it's literally a level of pain that you're feeling all the time. And that's why people with chronic illness or chronic physical pain, that's why some people have pain all the time, because it's been shown that a lot of things are actually just in the mind and you're not feeling the pain. You just think that you're feeling the pain. So I'm hoping that I find that answer for my mental health. It's a lot, and at times it's too much. It's too much.
Has the answer ever felt close?
It did when I was in my last relationship. Like I felt like I had that person that I could depend on, like I needed. Mm-hmm. I felt like I had, everything there, and I was able to work on my past. I was able to work on these things and like really like dig deep and like bring all this stuff up and like really try to find the answers for them. But for me, for the majority of people, without that person that you can go to, without that support system, it's really hard to get through. Mm-hmm. And I just don't have that support system. I've been trying so bad to like build that up, but like it's really hard.
What treatment options have you taken advantage of that you felt helped?
Honestly, everything has been such little help for me. Like, it's hard to see like a bigger picture when I've tried so many things and it's been very little help for myself. I'm not saying that these things can't be help for other people, because I see it all the time. People turn around and like they're feeling awesome and they're doing great, and you know, things like that. Like these treatments are working for them, and that's amazing. You know, I commend everybody to try these things. Like keep trying, keep going, keep fighting until you can't fight anymore. Like I feel like when I have a support system, it helps, because you have that person to go to and be empathetic with you and give you those hugs that you need, or whatever works for you. But when you don't have that, you feel more alone. And when the friends that are there for you are more sympathetic than empathetic, you start to feel like a burden, and you don't want to go to them. You can't open up to them truly. You know they're there for you. You know you're physically not alone, but you feel alone because you can't open up. Because the response that you're going to get is, no, just buck up, or like just, you know, there's lots of fish in the sea, get over it, or whatever. You know, those are responses that don't help, and they make the person feel worse. So I've learned to not open up to certain people, and there was only one person that I could truly open up to, and that was the last person that I was with. So it's making it extra hard to get through.
Do you think there'll ever be a day where you'll be your own support system?
I hope.
Is that a goal you have?
It is a goal. But I mean, even my therapists and stuff are saying like, yeah, you can be there for yourself, but if you don't have that support system, like people naturally need to have that kind of support. They need to have that.
Yeah, community is huge.
Yeah.
A lot of our doctors that we've talked to mentioned many times that we live in a world that rewards isolation and independence, yet we are hardwired to be part of communities and to be dependent on others. And that's causing a lot of mental health problems that our society is not set up to encourage that type of dependency.
Yeah.
So what you're saying makes sense from what I understand about mental health and what I've learned.
Yeah.
With the treatments that you have tried, which has been your least favorite?
I think just maybe group therapies are probably my least favorite, because it's focused on so many other things, when I'm like, I'm really just trying to focus on myself. Like I want to be there for all these people in this room right now, but when I'm at a therapy session, I'm like devoting time to my own healing. And in a group setting, it's harder for me personally. Like other people love it, you know, but for me it can be harder, because I'm like, well, we're also trying to like heal so many other things all at once that you can't focus on yourself. All of a sudden you're like feeling like really sad for like somebody else's story, like, oh, that's really hard, and like you want to give that love to them, when you're just like, okay, you need to turn it back to yourself. You need to like try to focus on yourself. Yes, be there for them, but also like you're here for your own healing. So for me, it's hard, because it's not putting in all of the work that I can to me.
What has been your most favorite?
I love talk therapy. I do, but mainly when I have a therapist that's consistent. When I'm being bounced around to different people, it gets hard.
What does your current therapy look like?
Right now, it's a lot of bouncing around, and because I'm doing an outpatient treatment, it's like an intensive outpatient treatment center where I'm there for 5 days a week, 4 to 5 hours a day, and I'm doing a whole bunch of different kinds of treatments. It's great because it keeps my mind busy, but once I'm done, like I'm trying to take all of those skills that they taught me for the day, or all of those things that they, you know, were basically leading me to like work on these things. I'm trying these things, and there's just so much that's been given to me. It's hard.
Is it overwhelming?
Yeah, it is.
Are you on medication?
am on a lot of medication.
Do you want to share what those are? Or?
So I am on Xanax for my anxiety. I'm on hydroxyzine for my anxiety, and as well as my skin allergy that I have. And then I'm on a new one. Actually, I have a list. Can I pull it out?
Oh, of course, yes, if you want to.
Okay, so I'm on Adderall, which Adderall has been told, and I just kind of been told this recently within the last month, that it's a light antidepressant as well. So Adderall for my depression and my ADHD. I'm on Allegra for my skin allergies, the NuvaRing for my PMDD. I have an EpiPen if I ever go into anaphylactic shock. I'm on Trazodone for sleep. And they also have me trying, this is the one that we keep bouncing around to different ones, and we're giving it a test, is called Vraylar. The other ones, I've tried so many others.
And Vraylar is an antipsychotic?
Yeah, I think antipsychotic, mood stabilizer. I don't know if they're the same thing or if they're two different things. I've been told they could be the same thing, but yeah. So it's for the depression with mixed features.
I mean, that's 8 or 9 medications in your arsenal.
Because through all this, I get insomnia really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you ever feel like it's too much or too little?
It's way too much. Not just the medication, but everything that I'm going through. It's
of course
too much. I feel like I can't breathe. I just started having these panic attacks to where I envision myself going crazy and not knowing why. My anxiety heightens up to where if I'm at a restaurant, I start hearing everything, and all of the sound starts to become super deafening. I start hearing every fork on the plate, every person talking, every single chatter, everything that's happening, I hear it, and it becomes so overwhelming to where I've envisioned myself breaking down and crying and dropping to the floor and screaming and I'm I really hope that never happens to me, because I would hate to maybe black out and have some episode happen and me being arrested or something happening. So I'm so terrified of what could happen, because I feel like it's getting worse. Mm-hmm. And I'm so desperate to calm it down. Mm-hmm. It's too much.
Do you think doing interviews like this help, or do they make it worse?
I feel like it helps in a way. It helps to get it out, and I'm really, really hoping that I can help other people through this, because most of these things happening, especially all at the same time, it's so debilitating.
Yeah.
I can't work right now.
Yeah.
And usually I can. I can't focus. I can't finally calm down and feel at peace. I can't feel that. And it just creates more panic, because I just don't know when that's ever going to happen, or if it's ever going to happen.
Is there any part of you that believes that it will?
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
I want to do this. Let's take a quick break. Mm-hmm. And then when we come back, we'll have some more lighthearted, maybe a fun conversation.
Okay.
All right, that was a nice little break. How are you feeling?
Good.
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 You told me off camera, you said, well, I really want to be hopeful. And I said, you just be honest. It's not your job to be anything other than honest. And
yeah.
I feel like you've been really honest today. And that's what people want, and that's what you deserve, is to be able to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you some questions just off the cuff based on our conversation today. Disneyland or Disney World?
Disneyland.
Okay.
All day.
Top 3 Disney characters?
So Mickey Mouse, obviously.
Duh.
Peter Pan and Captain Hook.
Is Minnie called Minnie because of Mickey and Minnie?
Minnie was called Minnie actually because she went by Encina, and it was confusing, so she needed a name,
Yeah.
and she wanted to be Minnie.
So she likes Disney too.
Yeah.
Do all your alters like Disney that you know? No. And dogs or cats?
Cats.
Callie.
Cats.
Did you hear that? Oh no.
Callie's, okay, I love dogs when
Yeah.
they're trained.
Yeah.
When they are trained.
Yeah. That's how I am with people.
Yes.
I like people if they're trained. Anything, you are really developing a fan base. And I don't know if fan base is the right word, because these are people who are relating to you, who want to hear what you have to say, and who find solace and comfort with watching you and listening to you. What message do you have for them?
There's hope out there. You have to fight for your own health, fight for your mental health, fight for yourself. And just know that there is help out there if you keep asking those questions. Don't go to one doctor and, give it everything and be like, okay, well, this one doctor didn't work. Like, that's it. Like, try different doctors, because not all of them are going to work for you. Just like medications, try different medications. Like, there's nothing wrong with being on medications.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. And as long as you're working to like put in that effort, like you're gonna find that help. You're gonna find it. Just keep searching.
If you're looking for expert guidance and community support on your mental health journey, consider a MedCircle membership. Explore your membership options using the link below this video or visit medcircle.com. The idea of staying in a psych ward is majorly stigmatized, and the behaviors that warrant being admitted to a psychiatric hospital are not what you think. In this interview, Encina explains the events leading up to her psych ward stay and what caused her to admit herself in the first place. We're going to talk about your stay in a psychiatric ward. Is that the correct term?
Yeah, I mean, it's more just, I guess I've just been calling it like just the inpatient hospital.
Yeah.
Because it's just a hospital basically.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Why did you want to talk about this?
Because there's a lot of stigma behind it. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of people who, like myself for the longest time, you feel these like suicide ideations, or you get these suicidal thoughts, but you are afraid of telling anybody, because the first thing that someone will usually say is, oh, you need to be locked up, like something along those lines, and that's a scary thing to hear. No one wants to be arrested for anything, so when you think of locked up, you're thinking of jail, you're thinking of prison. No one wants to go there.
Yeah.
So you go to a psychiatric ward, you go into this inpatient hospital, and you're terrified.
Yeah. I draw the parallel or the comparison of how fearful people are to even go to therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a 1 hour session or less, one-on-one. You can bring your phone with you. You get to leave afterwards. People are scared to do that.
Yeah.
Let alone go to a hospital for any number of days or weeks where you give up essentially all your rights. Thank you in advance for sharing this story.
Of course.
Because this is going to be really eye-opening to hear the actual experience that you had with this. Overall, was it good or bad?
Overall, it was good, actually. If I had to go back to like an inpatient hospital, that would be the hospital that I would go to. It was really, really good overall. Yeah.
So you are glad you did it?
I'm glad that I did it. I don't usually regret anything in my life, because I take everything as a learning lesson, even if it was something that I'm just like, this sucks.
Hello. That is the way to live, baby. I'm telling you. Okay, let's start with what led up to you making the decision to admit yourself. What was your life like?
So I was already struggling with like my depression and everything else, as I usually am, but then
If the viewers are just meeting you for the first time, what are some of your mental health problems, issues, disorders, however you want to classify them?
Some of them are like DID. I have depression, anxiety, OCD, God, you can help me out here. Like it's
ADHD,
ADHD,
panic attacks,
yes, panic
and
attacks,
CPTSD.
and CPTSD, yes,
Okay.
and insomnia.
So just a few.
Just a few.
Just
I mean,
like a
you know,
little,
just
like one or
float.
two little tiny things. Yeah. Sometimes levity is good. Okay.
So I struggle with these things on a very high daily basis.
Yeah.
And my psychiatrist and me have been going back and forth on medications to help with my depression and my anxiety. And we haven't been able to find anything that really helps or works. So the time when I was supposed to go in and see her to change meds or to say, hey, this med is working, like let's up the dose, she was out of town. So she had to cancel and they had to reschedule me, and they kept rescheduling me and rescheduling me. And then we found out that she actually, she ended up leaving. So she went to another hospital, and I was like, oh, great. Like I need help now. My depression and everything was getting to me and stuff. I just went through a breakup, and that was now building on it because I was now grieving, and then I was like losing my home, and like so many other things just started piling up so fast. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing good. Like I'm a crying mess. I can't hold it together. I can't even go to work right now. Like I am not doing okay.
You in our follow-up series, you said something to me that really made me get more of what you were going through. Of course, no one understands what anyone else is going through fully, but you were already dealing with a laundry list of mental health challenges. And your support system was the person you were in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Which gave you some sort of hope in
Yes.
the ability to handle those mental health challenges. But when that support system went away for the breakup, it heightened your
Everything.
inability to handle those challenges and the symptoms that come around with those mental health challenges.
Yeah.
Do you think if you hadn't broken up, you would have still gone into the psych ward?
No, I don't think so.
So you really think that was the catalyst that...
That was absolutely
much.
that was the last straw for like my mental health break. It broke. Like
Yeah.
I was done. Like I couldn't see any other hope.
Yeah.
Because in my whole life I've never really had that kind of support. So finally finding that support and having it for like 3 full years, amazing. And then all of a sudden it's gone. You're lost. You don't know what to do anymore. It's hard to imagine how you lived life before it. And it was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a struggle. Like I feel like most days, almost every single day, I want to say like, I am surviving. I'm not truly living. And that's really hard because everyone's like, you want to live life. You want to enjoy life. You want to get the most out of life. And I am like struggling and like clawing my way to the end of the day. Like it's become too much. So that's what made me say, this is, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I need professional help.
Good.
I need someone else to take over.
Good.
Because I'm falling apart. And I needed that help.
Oh, you're so much smarter than I think you give yourself credit for.
Thank you.
Most people don't do that. They don't even have the realization or awareness within themselves to go, whoa, this is beyond me right now.
It's a terrifying thought though. Like I didn't want to.
Of course.
You know,
Yes.
I really didn't want to. Like I thought about this in the past. And there was one time when I actually went to like a hospital and they were like, well, you can stay here. And they really wanted me to stay. But I was like, I don't want to be locked up. I'm going to go home. So I left and I was like, you know what? This breakup, just because it broke everything, I was like, I'm done. I surrender. Like, just take me. Like, like help me heal. So.
How did you find the hospital?
So the friend that I'm actually staying with right now did a student rotation there. And she told me that it was a pretty good hospital. And she was like, you can get in, they have a bed, like they'll be able to take you in and everything. And I went in and it was cold, but
And Encina hates the cold.
I hate
and she
cold.
has a cold allergy.
So, it was very scary, you know, it was very scary. But at that point, like, I was almost numb. Like, I was just there, like, not knowing what to do, not
So-
knowing where to go.
She says, hey, this hospital is good. I've been there. And they have a bed for you. And then did she drive you over there?
So the very next morning, they said, if you come first thing in the morning, we'll be able to get you in faster, because they were like backed up with people, and intake takes a long time sometimes. So you're sitting in this room by yourself for a long time. Like, I think I sat there from 6 a.m. because we got there at 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. And
Just sitting there.
Sitting there, and then having, like, they would do like different tests throughout that time of like, okay, we're going to bring you into this room. We're going to do like a body scan. We're going to check if you have any bruises, tattoos, piercings, things like that. And they make a mark of all that stuff. And then they have you go in and talk to like a counselor, and basically, why were you there? What's making you want to be there? What are you going through? What medications are you on? Things like that, so they can get ready for when you're actually in the hospital, so people can get you your right meds or change your meds up or anything like that. So just basically getting all of the necessary things.
Was your friend with you during this time?
No, I was by myself.
And you're there by yourself, and you're getting called up to do these tests. What are you feeling during that 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. time frame?
I was so numb. I was so, like, I've actually never felt so numb before. I'm such a feeling type of person. I'm such a sensitive person. Like, I feel everything. I'm very empathic. I feel other people's emotions. But this, I was broken. I was so broken, and it was very zombie-like, basically. Like, I just didn't know how to feel. At that time, I wasn't scared, you know, I wasn't anything. I was just like, all right, I'm here. I'm gonna do this, you know. It wasn't until like that night when I was like going to bed when like my fear kind of kicked in.
Yeah. Once they admitted you, or discuss the process of them admitting you.
So you go in, and it's easier if you call in advance to find out if they have a bed or not, and to like make a reservation. So we made a reservation, and I got there at 6 a.m. You get your paperwork and you fill out paperwork. It's just like medical history and things like that, like kind of the normal stuff that you would fill out. And right away they give you these pins that are like this small, and they're like the rubberiest pins, so you can't like stab people, like, but they're so hard to write with. So right away you're like, all right, this is gonna be a challenge. So you're trying to fill out all this paperwork with this pin that you can't even grab. You get your paperwork done, they bring you back, they have you change into this paper gown. So they take all of your clothes, they search all of your bags and everything that you've brought with you. If you're voluntary, usually they'll tell you what you can bring, or the website actually says like what you can bring. So I made sure to bring like all travel size closed containered like shampoos, conditioners, whatever I was gonna need basically while I was there. And they said pack for at least 3 days. Basically everything that I brought other than my clothes, I couldn't bring in. They took everything. So right away it was like, what did I get myself into? Like, I can't have my own toothbrush. Again, toothbrush was just as rubbery. You almost had to put your whole hand in your mouth to like brush your teeth. It was very frustrating. They give you like this really chintzy like hairbrush that is like not made to brush like thick hair. They give you like little things of like shampoos, conditioners, and like a little deodorant and stuff, but like you basically don't get anything else. Like, I couldn't have like necessary essentials that like some women actually need, like panty liners. I couldn't have a panty liner. I couldn't have my chapstick. That was considered contraband. If you wanted chapstick, you had to order it from their pharmacy, and they gave you a little bit of like this Carmex stuff in like a little cup, and they were like, all right, there's your chapstick. That's what you get. So it was very much like everything was stripped from you.
The moment you get admitted, do they take you to your room?
So right when you're actually, like when you're done with intake, when you're done with all those little tests and things like that, then they do take you to your room. So by like 2 p.m., I was done with all the tests and waiting, you know, my turn to be taken up. They take you to your room. And from what I've heard, they actually do have like an orientation, but I didn't actually get that. I think I came in a little too late or something like that, so I wasn't able to see the orientation or go through that. But they give you a piece of paper that has all of your groups that you're going to be going to. And there's 4 groups a day. And these groups are throughout the day. They're at very specific times. You have to go to like all of your groups. You know, if you're not being, if you're not listening to what they're like suggesting, then they're gonna probably keep you longer. So I went to every single group, you know, basically like this piece of paper, you have to have like somebody sign off every single group. And then, you know, they show you your bed. Your bed is like this really thin mattress that's like made of plastic, so it's really loud when you move around. Same with your pillow, it's like covered in plastic, so it's really loud when you move around. Your blanket is really thin. I know it sounds terrible. And it was rough. But when your life is that in chaos and that like broken, like I knew I needed it. I knew I needed it.
Can you give any details about any of the other tests you took being admitted?
So the tests were basically, I mean, I guess they weren't like tests. They were more just like they did like a what is it, a TB test? Is that what it's like?
For tuberculosis?
Yeah, yeah. So they did a TB test. They did blood work. They did like a urine sample. They want to make sure that you're not on anything while you're coming in. And because I'm allergic to cold temperatures, I had my gloves and I had these earmuffs, and they wouldn't even let me have those. I had to like fight for those because I was like, I need something. I was like, maybe I'll just, you know, they went out and actually like bought me like a beanie, but it didn't really fit very well. So at least they were trying. And then they eventually allowed me to like keep my gloves. So I could, because it was really cold throughout the hospital and while you're staying there and stuff. So I was always in a sweater. I was always like, if it was even a little too cold, I'd bring my blanket with me. Like, the staff there was really accommodating, like as much as they could be. They were just kind of like following the rules, you know, like,
right.
So.
Do you think they make it uncomfortable, difficult to encourage people to want to get out?
I think they do it because people need routine when they're there, and they need strict routine. So I forget the percentage, and I'm not going to go into that, but basically there's like a higher percentage of like how many choices you have to make, or like just basically the amount of choices that you get to make when you're not like locked up, is like exponential, like tons. But with all those choices that you're making, you're bound to make more negative choices when you're bored and when you're, you know, not having like good thoughts and stuff. So you're going to make these negative choices. So what they do is they just basically make it very military-like, to where like in the military, that's how they get them so like trained, is they take away your choices and your options. They're like, this is what we're giving you. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to use this. You're going to, you know. So with us, that's what they basically did, is they take away your choices and your options. But when you're that depressed, you don't need to be making your own choices. So I needed that. I really did.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
How many days were you in the hospital?
8 days.
8. Take us back to waking up that first morning in the hospital.
God, I feel like I should take you back to like when I was finally like in my room for the first time.
Take us back there.
Like, so I get into the room and I'm still like very numb at this point, you know. It isn't until they give you like a schedule and they're like, this is what we do every single day. You know, Monday through Friday, you get this, and then Saturday and Sunday, this happens. And they have almost every hour like blocked off for something, almost every hour. So they would like, you know, people wake up at 6 a.m., you can go do a smoke break. There was a lot of smoke breaks. So it was a lot of me just like sitting around being like, all right, I'm just waiting for other people to be done with their smoke break. Basically, it was okay for the first like few hours. It wasn't until they were like, okay, we're gonna give you your like meds now, and everyone gets in line, and they first take your vitals, basically like they're checking your heart rate, they're making sure everything's good, and then you go up and you get your meds, and they watch you swallow them, and they ended up giving me like trazodone, which is the sleeping medication. And because I struggle with insomnia, so I was like, I'm really scared I'm not gonna be able to sleep with all of my comforts and stuff. Like I sleep with like rain noises in the background and like a pillow in between my legs and like, you know, like a teddy bear that I hold and things like that. And like not having any of that kind of stuff, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna sleep very well. Like it's gonna be hard. So it wasn't until I was like laying in bed, because you kind of get to like, there's 2 phones that you can use, and they give you like a 15-minute time limit on how long you can use the phone, especially if there's like a line. But if there isn't a line, they're kind of like lenient, and they're like, yeah, it's fine, you can use it for a little bit longer. So you can call out to as many people as you want. Before going in and checking in, they have you write down any phone number that you think that you might need. They give you like a journal, so if you want to start journaling or like taking notes on anything, and everything just kind of starts flowing. You know, you're like, okay, this is what time most people go to bed. Like there was a TV that you could go and watch during times when you had nothing else to do. Basically, I was just like, I'm so depressed, I just want to go to bed now. So I decided to go to bed really early. I couldn't really sleep. I was kind of tossing and turning. The nurses on staff walk up and down the hallways and look in all the rooms and find you, basically have to like make eye contact with you every 15 minutes. Because a lot of people are in there for, you know, attempted of suicide and stuff, so they got to make sure that you're safe, you're alive still, you're breathing when you're sleeping, like things like that. So every 15 minutes you have somebody checking on you.
All the time?
All the time.
24 hours a day?
24 hours a day, the entire time you're there.
But are they waking you up when you're sleeping, or
So
they're just looking for the breathing?
No, they're just making sure you're there. They look at you, make sure that you're breathing while like you're laying there. So they're not like waking you up every 15 minutes, but man, if you're asleep and there's a smoke break though, they're like, smoke break, ladies. They're coming into every room. All right, knocking on the door. You guys want smoke break? And I'm like, I don't smoke. Like, just let me sleep. So it's just very routine. It's very routine. So I like basically was finally able to go to sleep. They woke me up at 6 a.m. to take my Adderall, which Adderall is for ADHD. It will wake you up if you are not already awake. So our first group didn't start until 10:30 in the morning. So I was literally like awake from 6 o'clock in the morning until 10:30 with this spare time. So the mornings and the nights were the hardest for me, because it was just the time where I'm just sitting and you have nothing to do. You can choose to go and watch TV. You can choose to have like a snack. You can choose to do this kind of stuff, but it's literally, your own free time. So I sat and I was like, what am I gonna do? So I decided to start journaling. So any free time that I got in there, I journaled. I wrote about my experiences, what was happening, where we were going, the time that things were happening. Like I just basically was like writing down like word for word what everything was happening, and it was just what kept my mind busy. So that next day, you know, you start going to your groups, and you make sure you bring your paper with you, so your the leader of the group can like sign off on it, whether it's a therapist or just somebody who's there just to like lead the group. And the groups consisted of things like arts and crafts. We could color, we could draw. They were all kind of like broken up though. So one of the groups would be like all about coloring or drawing. There'd be ones where they'd specifically give you like, okay, we're gonna draw like a mandala, and we're gonna like practice making our own and what it means to you. And like they'd give examples of what a mandala was.
What is a mandala?
So it's basically just like, I mean, I have a hard time explaining it, but they're beautiful like round shapes that I think monks would use like to make like sand out of. Like it would take them days, I think like maybe even months to make these things, or like some crazy time. I could be wrong, don't quote me on the time, but they would take their hand and slowly draw with different colored sand, like these beautiful fractal-like shapes, just these like beautiful shapes. And then once they were done, they would sweep it away. And it was just kind of like their way of saying like, we're making something beautiful, but we can make something else beautiful. Like we can get rid of this one and make something else. Like we're still creating, we're still like growing, and you know, it's to not become attached to certain things. And so we were just basically drawing our own mandalas. There was one where we made our own bracelets, and they just give us like these plastic beads, and we made bracelets. And then we would do a whole bunch of like guided meditation groups. And those ones were probably like some of my favorites, because I'm already into like meditation and stuff. I find it somewhat healing for myself. It helps a little bit when my anxiety's up. Like again, it's hard to focus on that. But other groups, we would listen to music, and we'd talk about like the music. We would let's see. It was kind of all kinds of different like talk group therapy of like, let's process what's going on. If you want to talk about your experience, then you can. If you don't, you don't have to. They're basically checking and constantly making notes on you though, to make sure that you're actually being involved and active in what's happening, to see that you're actually putting forth some kind of effort. And that was my big thing. I was like, I am going to put forth the most effort. I'm going to be like the straight A student right now. Like I'm going to get honor roll. Like,
why?
Because I was so desperate for some kind of healing that I was like, I am willing to try everything that these people are going to tell me is possibly going to help. I need the help. I'm here for the help. I'm not going to be somebody who's like throwing a fit or anything like that, because I needed that help, and I knew I did.
When you would do these crafts or listen to music or make bracelets, did they tell you what the intention was for each one of these exercises?
Yeah, so they would basically, it was different coping skills that they were teaching us for when we were out. If we wanted to like draw something, when we're feeling depressed or anxious or whatever, you can sit there and you can do your own art therapy at home. And they're teaching you these different skills because they're coping skills. And they're showing you that there are so many different ways to cope with things. You just have to find the one that works for you and stick with it.
So if at the end of the day, you know your anxiety goes up and you have trouble sleeping, but you found that making a bracelet or making 100 bracelets calms you down and centers you, then make some bracelets.
Yeah.
Got it. What were the other people like in the hospital?
The majority of the people that were there for substance abuse. They were there for substance abuse, or most of them tried committing suicide. Not most of them, but the other majority of them tried committing suicide. So it was really hard hearing like that someone was there for like alcohol abuse and she got out in like 3 days, you know, and I ended up having to stay for 8 when I was like, I don't have any addictions, like I don't have a history of self-harm, like I'm being good here, like why am I having to stay so much longer?
Did you view that as a punishment?
I viewed it as, I believe everything happens for a reason. And as cheesy for most people to hear that, you know, it's what I truly believe. I believe there's a lesson in everything that you can like go through and experience. So if it's something that's hard, like just try to find that lesson. And that's what I was doing. So being in the hospital was, it was rough, but again, it was something that I knew I needed, and that's why I took myself.
Did you have a roommate?
I did.
And what was that person like?
So she was actually really, really sweet. She was very, very sweet, and she was trying to get out. She had been there for like a week and a half, I think.
Wow.
And she was trying to get out, and she was doing everything that she needed to do. She went to every single group that she was supposed to. She was, you know, attending everything. She went to every like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She, you know, was basically following the rules. So she ended up fighting to get out earlier because she's like, I don't deserve to be here any longer. Like I'm okay. I'm not a harm to myself. Like I can go home. And they wanted to, I forget the name, but there's like a word where they actually will attest against you, and they'll get like, if they want to keep you there longer, they will get the opinion of another doctor, and if they win, then they will basically send you to like another facility to get like checked out to see if you should be staying longer. And you could get sent back, but for like a longer period of stay. If you leave against medical advice and you sign like an AMA, which is against medical advice, your insurance won't cover it. So it's very scary to go down that road because you're like, I'm gonna fight to get out of here, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And I could end up either longer than what they're originally wanting me to stay anyways, and my insurance won't pay for it if I end up having to stay longer. Mm-hmm. So it's scary if you're like, I really wanna fight to get out of here.
How long did you think you were gonna be there?
I thought I was actually gonna be there for a night. They gave me an option. Originally, they were like, you can stay here for a night, see if you like it. You know, this is the inpatient place, and if you don't like it and it's not really for you, you can try outpatient. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. So I went, stayed there for a night, did a day there, and I talked to the psychiatrist that was assigned to me. And to be very honest, I did not like this psychiatrist. He was really rude. He was very mean, and he, without even talking to me, he was already diagnosing me with bipolar disorder and like all these other things. And I was like, you didn't even talk to me, and you're telling me that I have all these things? Like, that's not okay.
The first time you talked to him, he told you you had bipolar disorder?
Yeah.
And he had never talked to you previously?
Mm-mm. He just read notes from the lady who like checked me in when I first like came in and did that intake. Wow. He just read those notes.
And you've never had the diagnosis of bipolar disorder?
I've never had the diagnosis. Mm-mm.
And did he diagnose you with it?
He tried. I was like, that's not what I have. I was like, sorry. Like.
So then what happened?
So after the first day, basically, you know, you go and you wake up, you talk to your psychiatrist, you do your vitals and your medication and stuff like that. You can go to breakfast if you want, and they give you a lot of food, let me tell you. They give you a lot of food, and it's not healthy food, like at all. You'd think that it would be, like, since they're doing like mind, body, spirit, like healthy stuff, but also like the food is like enchiladas and like cake and things like that but it was a lot of food.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with enchiladas and cake.
No.
Maybe not when you're trying to get healthy.
When you're eating it, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's like, man, this is a lot of calories. Yeah. Basically, I went to go talk to him, and because they gave me the option to only stay for one day, I told him, I was like, okay, so it's not really for me, like, I love the groups. I want to be able to continue the groups, and those kinds of groups are the same as they are in like inpatient and outpatient, are kind of the same, other than one you get to go home and the other one you don't. So I was like, I'd like to try the outpatient. He's like, so what you're telling me is you don't want to be here? And I was like, nope, I don't. Like, I'd like to go home. I'd like to be able to do outpatient instead. And he's like, well, from the notes that I'm reading, your disorders and everything that you have, you're a danger to yourself. And I was like, okay. I was like, why am I a danger to myself? And he's like, well, you have suicidal ideation. I'm like, I've never made a plan. I've never done anything like that. And he was like, well, my professional medical advice is you're going to stay here. I'm like, oh. So right away I was like, well, do you know how long I'm going to stay there? Like, stay here? And he's like, we're not going to talk about that right now. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Like, go ahead and do this day, and then we'll get into that more tomorrow. I was like, okay.
How did that make you feel?
I felt like I was unheard. Like he was just like, nope, it's my opinion. Like, I automatically got that feeling of like, he's the doctor, so he's in charge, and he's like, what he says goes, and if you go against him, he's gonna like break you or whatever. Like, so I was like, all right, I just can't piss this guy off. So, I go about my day, I do all the groups and everything like that. And again, the last 4 hours of the day, because you don't have any groups during that time, and you're just like, oh, I just want to go to sleep. I'm stressed out right now. I'm like, there's nothing to do. What can I do? Like, so I would just be like, can I have my sleeping meds and my whatever meds like very early so I can go to sleep early? And that's what I did. I just basically took the time to do my groups, and then I went to bed, and then I woke up and I did my groups, went to bed, and that's kind of what I did every single day. Very next day, he ended up coming to my room. Because at this time, my roommate actually did get to go home. And so I was by myself for a couple of days in the room, and he came in, he sat on her bed, so he was like, we were sitting across from each other. And, he always started off with, how are you feeling? How is this place feeling to you? Like, that kind of thing. And, we're getting into like normal conversation. I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm just really big on transparency and communication and stuff. So I want to be able to communicate with you and tell you my thoughts and my feelings and stuff. And he's like, I'm very big on communication too. That's great. And he basically got like, he turned into a different person when I brought up again, okay, so you said we were going to talk about how long I was going to stay here. Can we like go about that? Can we talk about that? What do you think? And he was like, well, why is this so important to you? Why do you want to be here for such a little amount of time and then leave? And I was like, well, I feel like outpatient would be a lot better for me. I feel like it would benefit me a lot better. I don't feel like I'm a harm to myself. I am feeling like I'm like very stressed out, and I do need a lot of professional help, but I don't feel like I need to be locked up for it. And he was automatically just like, he stood up and was like, you know what? This is not going to be a discussion. We're not going to talk about this. And I was like, okay, you said we could talk about this. I was like, is there any way that we could discuss maybe even just a ballpark? And he was like, no, you need to stop. Like right away. He was just like very demanding. And he started walking out of the door, and I was like, but I was like, wait, like you're just gonna walk out on me like this? Like that's, I was so baffled that a doctor would get this hyped up and this upset about me just being like, well, I'm just trying to get a ballpark, like, because if I do get out of here, I need to make sure that I have a ride when I'm out. I need to make sure that I'm set, like I have a place to go, and like what is that process like? And you know, before you get discharged, they do go over all of that, but I was also just like super stressed out. I'm like, I just want some kind of answer. And so I was just like, well, can we just discuss, like, he was like, no, again, and he was just like this, and he was like, we're done. And I was like, okay, and he like walked out.
Why do you think he was like that?
I think he was like that because I heard it from other patients, as well as actually other nurses, that if you ask anything about leaving, they automatically think that that's all you're going to be thinking about. And they're like, if you know, the nurses were like, if you just give the patients like some kind of a ballpark or some kind of an answer, give them some kind of reassurance, then they'll be able to focus on the groups and the healing and things like that, because they'll know, okay, this is possibly when I could get out. But obviously that can change. You know, they could say, okay, you're going to get out Monday, but then you have like a fit or something, and they're like, yeah, you're going to stay a couple extra days. So, I mean, obviously all of that varies and it changes and stuff. And I knew that, and I kept trying to explain, like, I understand that it can change, and I understand that it can be longer or lengthened or whatever, but I just would like some kind of ballpark. And you said that that's what we were going to talk about.
Right.
So
when was the first day that you were supposed to get out?
So the first day he wanted, like, they actually suggested me staying 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah.
So how'd you get out in 8 days?
I was really good. I basically was just like, I am going to do everything that I can to like heal myself while I'm here, as well as like not make anybody upset.
Why not just take the 6 weeks?
Because it's so much that they take from you. Like, you don't, for me, there were essentials that I actually did truly need. I went through a surgery and I had to have like panty liners, and they were like, you can just use our pads. And I was like, I have stitches that are rubbing against the pad. Like, I can't wear a pad. So there were so many little things that I was just like, I don't have anything. And it was just so hard, you know? So it made it, for me, it gave me a lot more stressors than I had in life normally, because you're trying to like maintain yourself with the couple of things that you're allowed to have.
Yet you're glad that you did it.
I'm glad that I did it, because I did learn stuff from it, and I did like learn that, you know, when you need that kind of help, just do it. Just go. Just take yourself. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Like,
What was your favorite treatment?
my favorite treatments were probably like the meditation. They would do like guided meditation, and then they actually did like aromatherapy. So I really enjoyed those.
What was your least favorite?
We had a couple of ones where it was just like, there's coloring books everywhere and you can color, and I was like, I don't feel like coloring right now. Like,
Minnie might like it.
yeah.
Did any of your alters come out during the 8-day stay?
They didn't.
They did not.
They didn't. Mm-mm.
When you left on that 8th day, what day was it? Was it near Christmas?
It was the day before Christmas.
The day before Christmas. What was that feeling like leaving?
So originally they actually said I was gonna like stay longer. The doctor wanted me to stay longer, but then he left for his like holiday thing or whatever, and another doctor came in, and he was more rational. He actually like talked to me and heard what I had to say, and wasn't like diagnosing me right away or anything. And he was like, you're doing awesome. I hear from all of the staff that you're taking notes, you're You're showing up on time. You haven't missed anything. You're eating regularly. You're being involved with other people. You're not isolating, like all these things. And he's like, I don't know why he's keeping you so long. So he's like, yeah, you can get out. And they wanted to keep me longer, but.
And then you walk outside, and how do you feel?
It felt really good because you're finally able to go outside. Mm-hmm. Like you're not even allowed to really go outside other than when all the ladies would smoke. And I was like, I don't want to be in this little confined like patio area that's like barred up and everyone's smoking. So
was it all women?
Yes. They had like a mixture. They had like all women and then all men. But like when we ate lunch or breakfast, lunch or dinner, we all ate in the same cafeteria together. And that was probably a lot of like really uncomfortable times because I got a lot of men that were like, hey, pink hair, come over here. And it was just a lot of catcalling and like having to deal with that and stuff. So
gross.
Yeah.
What do you want people to know about your stay?
I want people to know that it's worth it. It's worth it if you're that broken, if you're that in need of help. Mm-hmm. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be afraid of it. Yeah, it's hard. But when your life is that hard too, there's something in there that is going to help you, that you're going to heal from, that you're going to find and work towards. Because I decided, I wanted to continue those kinds of groups. Those groups were awesome. Like, I want to do stuff like that. And that's why I'm doing like the outpatient center now.
So what did you learn?
I learned more about just how much you have to fight for your health. You have to fight for yourself. And when you don't like a doctor on the outside, find a new doctor, find a new therapist, find a new psychiatrist, find people that will actually connect with you, that you understand, they understand you. Because the entire staff was awesome. They listened to you, they were there for you, like they really did want to see you succeed and heal. Mm-hmm. I felt like my doctor was not a very good doctor. He didn't listen. He diagnosed me without even talking to me. He he was very rude. He would like cut me off, wouldn't let me finish speaking. Like it was very frustrating having him as like my care provider. So I knew that once I got out, I was like, I'm definitely gonna keep sticking with like, you find the people that work with you, because these people shouldn't be making you feel more stressed or more anxious. They should be giving you reassurance. They should be giving you that guided help of like where you can go, like directing you in a way, and I just didn't get any direction from him whatsoever.
Then I don't understand this. Mm-hmm. You just like the doctor you had. You had him the whole time until the very end.
Yes.
But you still are glad you went and don't regret going.
Yes, because the groups were amazing.
So the good outweighed the bad.
Yeah.
And there's inherently bad stuff.
Yeah.
About doing this. Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't had one conversation about voluntary, involuntary psych hospital stays where they go, it is so fun, it was great, I wish I could go back,
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I was there still stressed out, still like anxious and like couldn't wait for the next day to be done when I was like in the day presently and stuff. And I was just like, okay, what can I do? And it was very, very frustrating and it was very scary and stuff. But the groups that I was going through were so good and they were taking up time in the day in a positive way. So I knew that I needed to keep doing that. And if I was going to be stuck in that inpatient place, that's what I was going to be looking forward to the most, is when we were actually doing these groups. And then that's what, again, made me decide once I get out of here, I am going to continue these kinds of groups.
Before we talk about your continuing education,
Yeah.
what else about your psych hospital stay do you want to share?
So even if they take something away from you, as long as you can see, like there's a doctor on staff that you get to see if you're not feeling well or like during the day, because your main psychiatrist doctor is only available in the, like, well, mine at least was, like, in the beginning of the day. So for other people, it might be like just a specific time of day. The rest of the time, there is a doctor on staff that you can usually talk to. Talk to that doctor and say, hey, there's stuff in my bag that you know, if you absolutely need it, like, fight for it. So by the end of my stay, I ended up getting like 2 things from my bag, which was like a chapstick and some panty liners. And I was so excited just for those 2 little things, you know. Those things really did help me out. So fight for what you need. Fight for your health.
I was thrilled to hear in our previous series, your follow-up series, that you are going to group therapy Monday through Friday,
Yeah.
4 to 5 hours a day.
Yes.
I'm thrilled to hear that.
Thank you.
I'm not thrilled that you are that you have to go do it, but I'm thrilled that you're doing it.
Yeah.
What are the big takeaways you get from doing that?
It's still, it's positive learning, and it's positive healing. So I'm taking away a lot of what can I do, what kind of other like learning lessons are here. You know, that's kind of all I can do right now. A lot of stuff hasn't worked for me in the past, and all it takes is just finding that new group that they're teaching something new, and you're like, oh, this speaks to me. You know, I've seen it so many times with people where they're just like, I hate doing this and I hate doing that, and these groups are terrible or whatever, and then they find the one group that really spoke to them, and they're like, that's what I'm going to keep doing. That's what I'm going to invest my time in, and like, this is how I'm going to heal. So right now, my journey is to find that coping skill, that learning lesson, that whatever it is that comes my way, that thing that speaks to me, that really puts in heal time, you know.
That's huge, because just like people have to experiment with their medication with a psychiatrist, you are experimenting with your other types of therapy to see what works. And this is my big takeaway talking with you, is that if you go to group therapy 10 times, and all 10 times you leave there and go, I didn't really get anything from that. I didn't really feel like that was worth it. It just means you need to go 10 more times, or go try a new therapy 10 more times.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that therapy or treatments don't work for you.
Yeah.
You just got to keep going. There are times that I've left my psychiatrist, and my psychiatrist does write prescriptions but also does talk therapy. And I remember there was probably a 6-week period or something. I go, this is so dumb. I show up here every week. We don't get anything done.
Yeah.
This is annoying. But then finally on that 7th visit, I had this huge breakthrough. I go, it was all worth it. You have to go through those 7 weeks or those 6 weeks sometimes just so you can have a 7th week and a breakthrough.
You have to build it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 to 5 hours a day is a lot of time. You're not working right now. How do you manage all that?
Well, I'm not working, so it makes it a lot easier.
Just financially, how do you live a life when you don't have an income? This is a personal question, but this is what people want to know.
Financially, I am struggling.
Yeah.
I'm struggling right now. So I'm doing everything that I can to find some kind of income to come in, or, you know, thank goodness I have some friends who are letting me stay with them for free. You know, I had a little bit of a savings, like saved up, that I was saving for something specific. And then I was going to use it like for a car. And now I'm just like, now I just kind of need like food money and things like that. So that savings is kind of what I'm like living on right now. But my job was basically very understanding. They told me, you know, heal yourself, like work on yourself, like get yourself to where you need to be. Once you're ready, come back and we'll get you, like, we'll see if we've got like an open position that we can throw you in, you know? So they were very understanding. They weren't like, you missed work, like, nope,
Right.
we're done. Like, so
Yeah.
it was good.
Can you explain what goes on in a group therapy session? And this is your outpatient therapy, right?
Outpatient or inpatient, they were kind of the same.
Okay, but
Yeah.
right now it's obviously considered outpatient.
Yeah.
So what is that like? How long do they last? What do you guys talk about?
So they're all different. They're all very different. Again, group therapy is basically when you have multiple people in one room together doing some kind of therapy together, whether that's art therapy, whether that's talk therapy, whether that's processing, whether that's guided meditation or aromatherapy, yoga, tai chi, like whatever it is, that's all a type of therapy that you're doing together, so it's considered a group therapy.
And so Monday through Friday, you'll do a combination of all those things?
We'll do, yeah, so I'll have so far it's been like, they kind of make your schedule, and it's kind of blocked off hourly. If not, it's like a couple of 30-minute sessions of things. So like if I have acupuncture is just a 30-minute session, so they'll block off 30 minutes for that, and then they'll block off 30 minutes for like talking to the doctor, or 30 minutes of physical therapy. So they work through a lot of, the place that I'm at right now, they work through a lot of physical severe pain for people, as well as like mental. And they do a lot of education on why your brain works the way that it does, and how like your chemical makeup like definitely comes from like food, and the way that you're acting, and like the way that you're thinking, and you kind of manifest a lot of the pain naturally, because that's just what you get used to. You get into this rhythm and your brain starts to just think you're in pain all the time. They kind of teach you different ways of like how to turn that around. And I haven't found anything like super solid for myself that's really, really, truly worked. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I still do. Like I've got an app on my phone that I'll do like breathing exercises with, or like a guided meditation, like things like that I can like follow along with. I love to journal still. I love to like draw if I can. I'm terrible at drawing, but I love my arts and crafts and stuff. So I still do these things as like my coping skills. But nothing has truly like started to like heal me, if that makes any sense. It's just kind of coping, as in like if I'm having anxiety or I'm depressed or something, I'll throw my time into something like that, and those help a little bit.
Well, maybe it is a part of healing, and you just haven't seen it yet.
Maybe.
You know, you plant the seed under all that soil, and you water and water and water.
Yeah.
And you can say, yeah, there's no plant here. But there's really a plant there. It's just under all the soil.
Yeah.
You know?
And I can definitely like agree with you. Like maybe it is there, and maybe it's slowly coming to the surface. I feel like it's just so hard to see when
It doesn't change
you're
the fact
just,
that
like,
that's how you feel.
when you're still just feeling like you're drowning.
Interesting that you say crafts, art, creation is a coping mechanism you use. And when I asked you what you wanted to do with your life in the previous series, your follow-up series, you said, well, I would just love to be able to create.
Yeah.
I think there's something there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a reoccurring theme in your life. You think about it long-term as a possible career, and you also use it as coping.
So I have thought about like, oh, could I do some kind of creating as like a career, you know, open my own like Etsy shop or something, you know? Like the only thing that makes me feel like you can't really do that right now is I don't really have the space. I'm not really like set up for that right now, because then you have to start buying things in bulk. I don't have my own place right now, so it's really hard to do your own arts and crafts when you're very limited on like your space. And then most of my crafts take a long time to do. Right now I've been working on this one project for months, and I'll put like, literally I'll sit for like 8 hours a day sometimes and just like zone out and like work on it and work on it and work on it. And it's still taking me so long. So people are like, you should make these. Like, I would want one too. And I'm like, I can't imagine.
You gotta pay me 50 grand.
Exactly. I couldn't imagine like having like something that I had to make over and over and over, but literally I wasn't producing enough to like even like get by,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah. In the outpatient treatments, what type of professionals work with you?
The outpatient treatment center, so you get doctors, so I've got like a couple of therapists. They kind of like switch off whether they're going to do like your solo talking session or like a group session. So you get them like kind of in a mixture. And then there's like the main doctor that you talk to about like your medication. And then there's, but he primarily talks about like if you have like pain medication for like physical pain. And then there's an acupuncturist, and she's super, super awesome, super awesome. So I love doing all that. Like when we're watching these videos, they're all like on like concentration or something. She'll do like these ear acupuncture while we're watching it, and it's supposed to like help you like zone and like really concentrate a lot better. Very fascinating. And then there's physical therapists, and the physical therapist will lead like the yoga groups and stuff, and we'll do like Tai Chi, and it's really, really great. It's healthy time spent, basically.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you have that. What was your biggest takeaway from this entire experience?
Just how much I really need to like fight. It's been such a long road for me, and you know, knowing that I need to find that support system, it's still a long road to come. And you know, I'm willing to do it if I have these options, and if I have a way to like keep moving forward and keep finding like the health within it and stuff. It's just so hard because right now I'm kind of like, I've surrendered to this place, and I'm like, just give me direction, tell me what I need to do, put me in the groups that I need to be put in, because I've tried everything that I could think of. So.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my God, I'll be 35. I see myself, I mean, I envision myself very, you know, happy and, you know, with a loving partner and in a healthy space. It's hard to see it as real at times, because of the struggle that I've gone through for so long.
When you hear the word mental health, what do you think of?
What can I do for it? Because I consider myself a mental health advocate, and I want to help others who struggle with it, because it's barely starting to have the surface scratched of like mental health, like for help, and people taking it seriously, that like mental health pain is just as important as physical pain. And the fact that it's been something that I've been struggling with my whole life, like if I can help out anybody else out there, like with anything, I will, you know, I will put forth that effort and stuff. So doing these videos with you guys, like it really is very special and very important to me. You know, being able to get that information out there to other people, and being able to open up and share my experiences, because it's a very scary thing to do. It's scary to open up about such stigmatized things, going to the hospital and being locked up and like being stuck, and you have these medications that you have to take, and you have, like, you know, society does not show that these things are like welcomed and okay. And that's not okay, because everybody suffers from something. Everybody, like, there's something that somebody's going to be sad about, or, you know, whether it's something you didn't get along with your mom or your dad, or you always tried to like make them proud but you just feel like you couldn't. Like, there's always something in somebody's life that they're going to be like struggling for. And when people push those down, you're just making it worse.
What do you wish the world had more of?
Love, kindness, empathy. I wish there were more people that weren't so selfish in the way of making other people, like, selfish at other people's expenses. You know, like, I get selfishness to like heal yourself, but not at other people's expenses. Like, if you're gonna be selfish in a way that's healing. Be selfish in a way that is like gonna help you grow, as well as maybe other people grow as well. But when you're selfish, like some obvious thing, you know, like, oh, you're gonna try to eat all the food like before somebody else comes back from the bathroom or something, like, those are different. But
what would the Encina sitting here today, who has the DID diagnosis, the ADHD diagnosis, OCD, CPTSD, anxiety, major depressive with mixed features, among other things, who's gone through multiple therapists, multiple psychiatrists, who's gone through an 8-day voluntary hospitalization for mental health, what would she say to the 10-year-old Encina?
keep going. Just keep fighting. You're gonna find that help. The road's gonna be hard, but you've got this.
I love it. We'll end it there. Thank you guys for watching. And Encina said it perfectly. Whatever you're going through, you got this.